Very good morning to one and all present here. It's my great pleasure to welcome you all to the e-poster session of this international conference on food sustainability, challenges and opportunities for future. The coordinators for this session are Dr. Alok Saxena and Dr. Meena Kumari. So now I would request Dr. Alok Saxena to take over the session.
Thank you, Dr. Mandeep. So in this e-poster session, I welcome all the participants and our external judges. So first judge is Dr. Soumya Chaturvedi. I think she has joined. She is yet to join. So I'll just read her resume. So our external judge, Dr. Soumya Chaturvedi, she has graduated with honors in food technology from DU, Delhi University, and she completed her MTech in dairy technology from NDRA Karnal. She has also received a certificate and diploma courses in teaching and learning from IGNU. She has vast work experience such as in industrial exposure of Nirlas and NDRI and guest lecture at MS University, Vadodara, Odisha University, Bhubaneswar. And she is working in Shahid Rajguru College of Applied Sciences of Women, University of Delhi for the past 15 years. And she has organized various seminars, conferences, and FTP program. She has also published various research papers, books, and book chapters in various national and international publications. Then our second judge is Dr. Naveen, who is working as a faculty of food technology at MIT Institute of Biotechnology, MIT University, Rajasthan, Jaipur. He has also worked previously in Chuli University and a lovely professional university, Punjab. He has done his PhD from National Dairy Research Institute, Karnal, Haryana, and he is having a specialization on food safety and quality control. He has also successfully completed DST seed funded research project on pesticide detection and currently working on international project funded by ITRC Canada. He has around 40 publications in his credit in various reputed national and international journals. And he has a H index of 17 with a citation score more than 700. He has also filed 8 patents and he has organized various conferences and training programs. So Dr. Naveen, have you joined? Are you there? Okay, so by the time we will start our e-poster session. Yeah, he has joined. Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning. So we will start our e-poster session. So you can start marking as per the Excel sheet provided, and the participant will come and then present their share their screen as per the list. So first participant is TS01, technical session 1. Ms. Farha Azmeen and Kunal Kishore from Department of Microbiology, School of Allied Health Sciences, Sharda University. So I request them to share their presentation. Ms. Farha and Kunal Kishore, are you there? Okay, I don't see their name. So we'll move to the second presentation. That is by K. Singh, A. Sharma, and S. Basera. Basra. They are from the Department of Chemistry, School of Basic and Applied Sciences, Sanskriti University, UP.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Are you able to share your presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is coming. So
Sir,
let's
it is visible.
within 4 minutes. So contestants are more here.
So can I start?
Yeah, you can start. Okay.
Thank you, sir. A very good morning to all. Today, I, Simran Basera, with my friend Anjali Sharma, is here to present a piece of work, which is the Journal Preventive Measures of Food Safety during the pandemic COVID-19 and a public outreach. And we are going to first discuss about what we are going to know in this. And COVID-19 is considered a global pandemic which has created an unprecedented crisis in the term of social, economical, and food crisis and its safety. And the government and the various health institutions globally try to protect the lives of all their citizens. And the easiest way to minimize the risk is to let it sit in an out of way place for 3 days. And nanotechnology is taking root against the COVID 19. So, first, we're going to discuss about what is food and why it is very essential for our lives. And as we know that the food is very important to sustain life, and every organ in the body depends on a continuous supply of calories and nutrients. So the basic function of the foods are bodybuilding, growth of body, providing energy, maintenance and repair, and protective functions. And we know that there are some proteins, vitamins, and the carbohydrates and fats which are very essentials for the lives of us. And now we are going to talk about the food agencies and the food system. As we know that the food systems is basically is divided into the four part, which is food standards, the value chains, the choices of people and environment. So what is the food standard? The food standard is basically a set of criteria that a food must meet if it is to be suitable for human consumption. What are the value chains and the full ranges of activities that firms and workers do to bring about the food and use and beyond? What are the choices of the people? The choices of the people, how people decide on what to buy and eat. And if we are talking about the environment, we are talking about the places. So they are the physical, social, economical, cultural, and the political factors that impact the accessibility, availability, and adequacy of food within a community and a region. And as we know that the main body is FSI, which is Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, which is basically established in 2006, which handle the food related issues in various ministries and departments. And the Food Safety and Standard Authorities of India is inspiring trust, assuring safe and nutritious food to the people. And FSIS is basically created for the laying down science-based standard for articles of food to regulate their manufacture, store, and distribution, sale, import to ensure availability of safe and wholesome food of human consumptions. And what is the governing structure of the FSI and how it does work? And the first one is food authority, and in the food authority there are food standards and the compliance and inspections. So what basically comes under the food standard? It is the first the scientific panels, and there are also the scientific committee for it. And in the compliance and inspections, first there is the central advisory committee, then comes the state level steering committee, and then comes the district level advisory committee. And now we're going to talk about what is food securities and the COVID-19, because as we know that the COVID-19 has badly affected the food technology and lives of many people. And as we know that the food is very important for the people to survive. So now we are going to talk about what is food security. So food security means that all the people always have physical, social, and the economical access to sufficient, safe, and the nutritious food. And there are various levels of the food security. There are very low food security, low food security, the marginal food security, and high food security. In the very low food security, there are the eating patterns are disrupted at multiple points, and food intake is reduced. And in the low food security, the food may be of low quality, various, and but reduces food intake is not a significant issue. But in the marginal food security, there may be some anxiety about getting enough food, but the type of food and eating patterns are more or less unchanged. In the high food security, access to food is not a problem. And now we're going to talk about what is the COVID-19. COVID-19 is basically belongs to a large group of coronavirus, which causes the severe respiratory illness. As per information, the first coronavirus outbreak basically originated from the seafood and animal market, and the WHO is basically considered it as a pandemic on 11th March 2019.
Ms.
And
Anjali, you
now we
can
are going
finish
to
in
talk
1 minute.
about,
Just 1 minute more. You have 1 minute.
yes sir.
You have 1 minute to finish.
Okay, sir. There are the important food safety measurement. We have to really take care of us and our food. So we have always, as we can see in the images, like
One
we
second,
always
one second,
ask.
one second. Sorry to interrupt. Participants, please switch on the camera.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Now I'm visible.
Yes. Yes. Fine.
Okay, ma'am. So we are going to talk about, we always have to use our mask. We always have to maintain the social distancing, and there is that are applied onto the seat so we can maintain the social distancing. And now we are going to talk about the most important, which is the nanotechnology in the food safety. So nanotechnology is an important science devoted to designing, producing, and using structure and devices. And as you know that the nanotechnology, by using it, we can protect our metal surfaces like stainless steel and the plastics from being affected by the COVID-19. And now the conclusion is that the SARS-CoV to a respiratory virus completely change the scenario. And we know that the SARS-CoV through the food is not scientifically proven, that there is basically a need to understand about the concern. And as we know that the vaccination are in progress, but there is a strict need to separate awareness regarding this pandemic to combat the various myths and rumor with following standard operating procedures and for personal hygiene to avoid the cross contamination. And I would really like to thank the AMIFOST organizer to provide me this opportunity to present my piece of artwork in front of the eminent researchers. And I want to thank my organization, Sanskriti University, Uttar Pradesh, for all the support that they have given me. And I also want to thank my chemistry faculty for their guidance and motivation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Dr. Naveen, you can ask any question if you have.
Yes, Simran. Actually, you have covered so many things in this presentation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Why you have included nanotechnology in this? Because that is a kind of different thing and which is not matching with the title of your presentation.
The nanotechnology is like very popular nowadays because as we know that the coronavirus can uh, uh, stain on our like stainless steel and the plastic and the various materials the coronavirus can stay for like 2 to 3 days. So by using the nanotechnology and by coating the materials, what we can basically do is we can basically
So
protect the materials.
yeah, Anjali, because we cannot coat everything with the nanoparticles. So I don't find any relevance of nanotechnology in this presentation, because everywhere we are including nanotechnology. Everybody is doing that thing. I think we should be very concise on the topic which we have selected. We are saying that general preventive measures, we should focus on the general preventive measures only.
Yes,
Nanotechnology is different.
So we can use it in the food technology industries.
Yeah, we can use. There are a lot of application of nanotechnology in the food industries,
Yes,
but
sir.
not as such general preventive measure.
Yes,
Are you
sir.
getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, rest is fine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Soumya Chaturvedi. I just joined in between of the session. Is this the session 7?
Yes.
I just want to confirm. Yeah, technical session 7. I hope I'm in the right link.
You can ask the question from the presenter.
Yeah. So Anjali, I just wanted to know, you talked about COVID-19 and the challenges faced by the food industry. What solutions can you offer in future? How the food industry can cope well with such situations if they arise again? Can you give some solutions or suggestions?
Ma'am, can you repeat, ma'am?
I just wanted to know that you talked about COVID-19 and the food industry and the challenges, etc. Can you suggest some solutions according to you, how the food industry should be ready to face such challenges in future?
Yes, ma'am. In the food industries, the workers can use the mask and the gloves so that we can stop the transmittance of the coronavirus, and we can maintain the social distancing in the industries. And by doing that, we can prevent our people and our food, and also we can, as I said, we can use the different techniques chemically, basically, by which we can also make our food very safe and very healthy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Then we will move to our next participant. Dr. Meena, can you announce?
Hello.
Yes. Yeah, it is Suhaib Yusuf Jain, Tausif Iwani, and Nazrana Rafiq Wani. From the SKUST, Kashmir. Have you joined? Anyone? Okay, next participant is Rupong Yang, Chen Wan, Chuing Chan, and Jeon Chan from Jiangxi Agriculture University, Nanchang, from China. Is any author is present? Joined. The next post presentation is from Nazrana Rafiq Bani and Sohaib Yusuf Zaid from Sher Kashmir University. You can put in chat box if any problem is there in joining. Okay, the next one is Dhruv Thakur, Tanya Nagpal, and Jitendra J.K. Sausar from IIT Delhi. Anyone is there? Mr. Dhruv? Yeah, he is there. You can start presenting. Yes, you are visible. Yeah, your voice is not audible.
हाँ कल बोली थी आज ही बस और क्या मैं बोली थी
Yeah, Mr. Dhruv, your voice is not there. You check your audio connection. Otherwise, you can rejoin the session. Just log out and then rejoin. So by the time we can move to the next presentation, that is NFC application in the food industry. By authors are Soumya Chaturvedi, Technical Sachan, Sanjana Soni, Priyadarshini, and Nadiminti Chandana Sirasai.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then they can start.
Present. Just a second. Present.
Yes, let's begin. You can switch on the camera also.
Is my screen visible, sir?
Yeah, slides are visible. Please switch on the camera also.
Sorry, sir, I couldn't hear you. Is my screen visible?
My screen is visible. You can make it full screen. Size is very small. Okay, you can start also. Sanjana, am I audible? Sanjana, you are not audible.
Hello, am I audible now?
Audible now. Switch on the camera also. Quickly start.
Okay, okay, sir. Good morning, everyone. As we know that food packaging is vital for protecting food from deteriorating by the action of microbes or environmental effects, there have been emergence of a number of innovations in packaging. For example, we have seen QR codes, data loggers, chemical indicators, etc., making their way to smart and intelligent packaging. NFC is one of them. NFC stands for near field communication. It is a type of passive RFID. RFID is for radio frequency identification. It enables brands and retailers to offer an interactive customer experience. For example, if an NFC tag is placed on an item in a store, a customer can just tap their smartphone to the tag in order to read the information the tag contains. So basically, it is a method of wireless data transfer that allows smartphones, laptops, tablets, or other devices to share their data when in close proximity. It has many advantages over other normal packaging that is available in the market, such as better man-machine interfaces, easy maintenance, pairing, commissioning, setting configuration of machinery and sensors, device-to-device communication, etc. That is why it has got its many applications in many industries, and food industry is one of them. In this poster, we have highlighted some of the major applications that is available in the food industry. As you can see in this poster, the very first application we have mentioned over here is in the grading of food. Though it can be used in vegetables also, but we couldn't find any review paper or research paper that was showing the vegetables application. So we have just mentioned fruits here. As NFC can read information such as order profile of food, bacteria, temperature, specific chemistries, and moisture level in food, foods can be graded on their perceived profile through NFC. And to detect this profile, there is a specific kind of color criteria. For example, if food is going to get spoiled very soon, it will show red color. And if it is in best of its condition, then it will show green color. So by this profile, we can judge whether the food is in right condition or not. So in the next application, we have discussed in beverage industry. Tapping of lid with an NFC-enabled device gives the whole information of beverage from its manufacture date to changes in its internal conditions. Thus, it enables a person to take a wise decision on the purchase or retail of their beverage products. In wine industry also, it works on the same principle, and you can get the authentication certificate to confirm the originality of a luxury wine with full wine pedigree, wine details, and even the wine pictures. Also, the winemaker can simply tap to edit and add extra data that they might be getting during the processing of a specific wine while carrying out the processing. In meat industry also, concentration of biogenic amines that are especially responsible for spoilage of meat can be read by NFC tags and hence make it easier for retailers and consumers to make the right decision for their products. So concluding it here, there's a high scope of using NFC in packaging of various food products, as today nearly every consumer has a smartphone, and also using NFC would be feasible for both retailers and consumers. It is time consuming, and also it doesn't take a lot of knowledge to use this. So even an illiterate person just know how to tap on certain keys will be able to use it. Recently, it has got its application in dairy industry also, and many companies, food industries are looking for this packaging as the world is moving towards tech era. So people are just focusing on the things that will be more on the tech part, because the smartphone is the thing that everybody has. So if incorporating packaging into a smartphone would be a choice, so people will look onto it. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, Sanjana.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that is good technology. May I know what will be the role of food technology in such kind of NFC application?
So, for example, if a food package is there and there's certain conditions that there's a milk package and it has certain shelf life. So if the bacterial count is getting increased after a period of time, so that NFC tag would be able to tell that what is the bacterial count that has got into the package or the the moisture content, or the
Now,
whatever
how
the
it will tell? How it will tell? There must be some mechanism, because directly smartphone they cannot detect anything. There must be some reaction.
Yes, sir. So the NFC tag is enabled with some types of chemicals that changes its colors when it gets in contact with certain chemicals. Like hydrogen is evolved from the canned product. So by interacting with that NFC tag, we get certain color, and we will be able to decide what is the internal conditions of the package.
Okay, that means we need a lot of work, because detecting microbe is one thing, detecting hydrogen peroxide is another thing, means some adulterant if you want to detect. So how it will do, means one tag for everything?
That is the technical part. We haven't looked into that. We were just reviewing the things.
Because we need to
reviewing
check the
industry.
temperature, we need to check the microbial condition, and you are telling that it can tell about the moisture content. That means it can tell about the composition. So many things are there.
Sorry, could you please repeat, sir?
I mean that there are a lot of things. You said that it can detect the moisture. That means not only moisture, but it can detect some other component of food, as well as microbial load, as well as some the adulterant. So many things are there. So I think this is in research mode. A lot of work is still required.
A lot of research has yet to be done, has yet to be researched now, because not many companies are using it, just because of the things that you said. The microbial load cannot be counted, and other things cannot be counted. That is why only dairy industry has incorporated this in their packaging. Not many companies are using, so this is why the reason.
I think that NDRI also has done something related to the cheese, to check the microbial load or something related to the cheese. National Dairy Research Institute, Karnal. They have done something related to it. It was in news. Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, Sanjana. Again, like Dr. Naveen is saying, it is a new technology. Even I believe it is. Can you say this is something like active packaging or smart packaging? Can you categorize it as smart packaging or active packaging? What will you say?
It is a kind of intelligent packaging, because it tells different things. It tells the things that normal packaging is not able to tell. It tells the order profile or bacterial count in some cases. So I would categorize it in intelligent packaging.
Okay, so does it involve some kind of sensors?
Yes, ma'am. It involves some kind of sensors.
Acha. And again, like Dr. Naveen said, he said there has been some work in NDRI regarding this. Have you come across it in the references? Did you see some work that is being done in India? Any references from India? You have given the list of references. Are there any Indian references that you could find?
No, ma'am, not from India.
Okay. But you should try to find out, because sir has just referred that there is something being done. So you should find out what is being done in India exactly. What is the status in our country? Right? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjana, Soni. So we will be moving to the next participant, Caroline Hinga and Busra Saida.
They are from Sharda University. Who is the presenter?
Yes, are you there? So we can move to the next participant.
Yes. So next is the Dr. Prithiva Tiwari from IGNU. Dr. Prithiva, are you there?
Yes, Dhruv Thakur.
Okay, next is the Richa Bharti and Dr. Karna Singh from Sharda University.
Yes, I'm here. I'm just trying to connect.
Okay. The title is Assessment of Impact of Nutritional Quality of Diet in Managing the Type 2 Diabetes. The sharing option is available at your end.
Yes, sir. I'll just share. Give me just 1 second, sir. It's connecting at my end.
Okay.
Sir, can you confirm if my screen is visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Sure.
Please, can you please switch on the camera?
Yes. If there will be any lag because of network connectivity, let me know, please, ma'am.
Yes.
So, topic of my poster presentation is assessment of impact of nutritional diet, quality of diet in managing type 2 diabetes mellitus. So, worldwide, more than 400 million individuals are currently affected by diabetes, and if this number is going to significantly increase in coming years, the figure that I have pasted in here is from Diabetes 2030 Insight, where we can see this number going to 640 million worldwide by 2040. So the prevalence of diabetes is going to increase in every 5 years. It's going to just increase significantly. So that is why the focus of my entire research was to understand what are the key ingredients that are present in our traditional atmosphere that we can actually focus on from an ingredient standpoint to understand that what are their role in managing diabetes or any markers of diabetes. So I have reviewed over 16 primary research articles to justify that there are certain diet components, example, functional foods, dietary fibers, biofortified crops, which can influence markers of pre-diabetes, diabetes, hyperglycemia, etc. So I'll quickly take the team through the ingredient that I have gone through and through this research. First is curcuminoid along with piperine. So in this study, time period was approximately 3 months. Subjects were type 2 diabetes patients, 18 to 65 years old. Dosage was 500 milligram per day, which was co-administered with piperine 5 milligram per day. So the impact here was positive on lowering glycemic and hepatic parameters in the patients having type 2 diabetes. Glucose serum level in study group was -9 plus -16 mg per dl versus -3 plus -16 mg per dl for a baseline value. And HbA1c level in the study group was -9 plus -1.1% versus 0.2 plus -0.5% in control group. So there was significant reduction in glucose serum level as well as HbA1c after administration of curcuminoid. Next was galactomannan, which was from fenugreek, which was an extract from fenugreek seeds. In this study, the time period was 12 weeks. This was done with 64 non-randomized T2 DM patients. Dosage here was 1 gram galactomannan in capsule form. Here the findings are that this ingredient again plays a beneficial role in managing initial stages of diagnosis in type 2 diabetes mellitus patients by lowering blood glucose. So fasting blood glucose post the time period of 12 weeks reduced to 6.30 plus minus 0.44 versus baseline, which is 7.75. And HbA1c was also reduced to 6.23 versus 7.55. Coming to next ingredient, which is psyllium husk ethanolic extract. Here, the time period of the study was approximately 40 days. Subjects were 40 adult male albino rats. Dosage here was oral administration of 100 milligram of the extract per kg body weight after dissolving in 1 liter of water. Here, again, there was an impact in lowering hyperglycemia in the albino rats. Next is lectin-free common bean flour. Subjects here were 23 males, 42 females, non-diabetic, no history of medication or diseases was selected post informed consent in the age group of 17 to 39 years. Here, the glycemic index study was done post receiving ethical approval. GI was measured using FAO WHO 1998 method, and the vitamin A biofortified cassava flour was found to have reduced GI versus the normal one. Flaxseed oil is the next ingredient, and subjects here what were total participants that the study had selected was 60 between the age group of 30 to 60 years. Selection was made. There was some inclusion criteria here that was specifically for somebody who's not having any kind of metabolic syndrome. So all 60 participants here received diets which was made out of 25 ml flaxseed oil. Here again, fasting blood sugar was reduced to 90 in the study group versus baseline value, which was 95. And last is high fiber and minimally processed whole grains. So here the findings are that whole grain which are minimally processed can positively influence improvement in the postprandial glycemia, and higher fiber intake was associated with lower postprandial glucose at breakfast, and intake of soluble fiber from food and supplement had a similar effect in patients with diabetes. So there was no significant difference there. And therefore, we conclude that nutritional quality of the diet helps in supporting diabetes management in the long run, and it is important to include ingredients that has proven benefits in the area. That is it.
Good morning. Good morning, Richa. Good morning, and nice to see you here. It's a good work. It's a good work, I believe. And can you just tell me how many patients, how many subjects? I missed that. Did you carry out the study on?
Ma'am, as of now, it is a review article of total 16 primary research papers. And there were different ingredients that I found out, like there were biofortified crops, including with vitamin A biofortified cassava flour. Then we had extracts from fenugreek like galactomannan. We had curcumin oil, which is from turmeric. So there were already these primary research articles, which I collated after filtering, and then have made this review.
Okay. I was slightly confused. I thought it was a research article. Okay, so it's a review one. Fine. And these studies have been carried out in different countries. What about the population? Is it the same?
There are different subjects from different numbers, and we have very less studies. This is all Western.
All Western. Okay. So did you find that there's any difference? I mean the races or the populations or the genetics of people, does that also affect the occurrence of diabetes or the glucose levels? And is there some connection between the diet and the group of people or the, population, specific population?
So, ma'am, in all these studies, one thing that was very common is that people who were suffering from extreme level of diabetes or have entered pre-diabetes, so they have actually not differentiated in terms of races. And therefore, one of the future prospects from this review article is to actually do a study in India with a broader target group, because the target group in these studies were also limited 60 to 100. That was the limitation here. So a similar kind of study can be done in our Indian population as well.
Right. But you found some common things across nations. You found certain common things with reference to diet and the glucose levels.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Richa.
Thank you, ma'am.
Could you tell me how this apple cider vinegar is affecting the sugar level, or how it is maintaining?
So this review article, I have not actually looked at the apple cider vinegar. This is not. This is out of scope here.
Okay. So, Dr.
Yes,
Ravi,
Richa, I have one question. Just what is the current status of Indian population regarding this type 2 diabetes?
So we continue the numbers that that I've quoted right now. We continue to be the diabetes capital of the world, and exact numbers I can definitely go through and inform. But it is topping the chart still. So I think the focus has to come from a preventive point of view. So that was the whole purpose.
Okay, so are you also planning to have some research work in this area?
That's right. Yes, that's
Okay,
right.
okay.
So my inspiration was my mother, who is a diabetic and she loves to eat. So I thought, why not understand what is there that she can eat, and also help her in curing the condition that she has.
Good, good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you, Richard. We will move to the next participant. It is Gitanjali Tahil Ramani, Alka Mathur and Karna Singh from Sharda University. Yeah.
Oh, very good morning, everyone. Shall I share my screen?
You can start.
Yes. Is my screen visible?
Yes, you can go ahead.
So the topic of this study is celiac disease and telehealth experience from a tertiary care center in Delhi. During the lockdown, when the strictest of lockdown was imposed in March 2020, so we just thought of getting in touch with the celiac patients who were registered in our clinic. So the flow of the study is our experience of that. And apart from that, we just decided to go for telehealth when it was approved by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So the flow of my presentation is celiac disease, as we all know, is an autoimmune disorder, and its prevalence around globally is 1%. And in India, the statistics suggest one out of 96% is suffering from celiac disease. So there are histological changes, and in our study, all the patients who have been registered have been diagnosed as celiac disease after getting their TTG done and the endoscopic biopsy. As per our protocol, we are getting two investigations done, then only we are labeling them as a celiac case. So when the lockdown was imposed, people were confined to their homes, so we thought of connecting with them telephonically. So it has been associated with risk of various infections like bacterial pneumonia, common viral infections like influenza and herpes zoster. And the reports have led to concern regarding whether celiac patients are at increased risk of becoming infected with and developing severe complications from COVID-19. Appropriate gluten-free diet is most appropriate line of treatment for celiac disease. In fact, it is the cornerstone for treatment of the celiac disease. The diet has to be adequate both in terms of quality and quantity. This was kind of assessed when we were telephonically getting in touch with our patients. And telehealth implies taking remote care of patients without any in-person visit to OPD or center. It was recommended by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare as well during the lockdown. Thus, this in mind, we planned the online clinical platform for our registered patients. The objectives of our study were to counsel the patient during the lockdown and maintain a continuity of care, to assess if the patient is on a gluten-free diet, to understand the effect of lockdown on the celiac patients, effect on psychological and emotional levels, and how telemedicine can be used for celiac diseases in an emergency situation as well as in the normal situation. Ours was a cross-sectional interview-based study. The study period was April 20 to April 21. And the study population were mother or primary caregiver of the children diagnosed with celiac disease and who gave their consent for the participation. And mother or primary caregivers were telephonically interviewed on various aspects of child care with the help of a pre-designed performer. And all the mothers who picked up our call and were willing to respond were included, whereas mothers who refused or where calls were not picked due to wrong number switched off, were excluded from the study. Our performer had basically three broad criteria: clinical assessment of the patient, nutritional assessment, and understanding of gluten-free diet. For clinical assessment, since we were not seeing the patient physically, we just associated their asymptomatic, whether they were symptomatic, asymptomatic, or the symptoms with which they were diagnosed initially were persisting. For nutritional assessment, we took history of gluten-free diet consumption, assessment of gluten-free diet on a Biagi scale, details of the gluten-free diet, how gluten-free diet is being cooked, and effect of lockdown on gluten-free diet consumption. And for understanding of gluten-free diet, we had an annexure that contained 48 items which are commonly which are of common consumption, and we were asked if they can be given to the celiac patient or not. For the scoring, the Biagi scale suggests if they do not follow strict gluten-free diet, scoring can be 0 or 1. Gluten-free diet with but some errors that require correction, the score is 2. And if it is strict gluten-free diet, the scoring is 3 to 4. For understanding of gluten-free diet, since the 48 items were there, more than 46 implied good understanding and less than 46 implied poor understanding. So as far as the results were concerned, in our clinic, we have 113 registered patients and approximate equal male and female distribution, with 55 and 58 being the classification. The 113 patients, again, abdominal distension was in 50% cases. And then again, at the time of registering in the clinic, diarrhea, 32 patients had no diarrhea, whereas 81 patients had complained of diarrhea. While we went for the tele-counseling, out of 113 patients, only 98 patients responded. So our next calculations were based on the 98 patients. So as per the patient adherence of the gluten-free diet, 84% patients said yes, while 16% said no. The type of gluten-free diet, 71% were using natural gluten-free diet, whereas 29% opted for mixed gluten-free diet. Grading of gluten-free diet, 75% had excellent, 16% were good, whereas 9% were poor and very poor. When we also checked with regards to label reading before purchasing, 87.5% said yes, 12.5% were not checking labels. And we even checked for if it is hard to know hidden gluten. So for 54.1%, it was yes, while 45.9% it was no. And then as per the protocol for the celiac clinic, there are recommendations of a separate kitchen also. But in Indian scenario, having a separate kitchen is little difficult. So we always counsel our patient to make few segregations, especially while doing the cereal cooking. So we checked for is gluten-free diet cooked separately. 71% said yes, 29% again said no. And again, since many celiac patients complain of segregation from rest of the society, we always counsel our patients to eat meals together. So 92% were eating 92% of the family were eating meals together, whereas 8% were not eating. As per our annexure of 48 questions, 65% of our respondents had good understanding, whereas 35% had a poor understanding, for which they were counseled again telephonically. And when we did assessment of gluten-free diet on the Biagi scale, strict compliance was observed with 88%, whereas 12% had a poor compliance. So gluten-free diet being the cornerstone treatment is easy to access and adhere to. Still, due to ignorance, many people fail to adhere to it. Tele-counseling is a novel concept and needs to be explored more. Our limited patients were contacted via phone, as few numbers turned out to be wrong numbers or switched off. Our studies amongst the initial ones to explore potential effect of lockdown on treatment of celiac disease during COVID-19 pandemic. A study done by Monzani et al. Like while I was doing the literature research, I could find 2 studies only which were correlating celiac disease and tele-counseling. So, a study done by Monzani et al. In 2020 had shown 72% respondents had no difficulties in finding gluten-free products. In our study, 60%. And in the same study, compliance was 70% respondents, while in our study, it was 84%. A study of Mohammed et al. In UK, it was suggested that all the 100% respondents were happy with the facility. Similar was our experience, as patients were happy with the contacting the healthcare professionals telephonically. Their queries related to health and medicine were forwarded to medical practitioners and were solved there and then. In our study, 12.5% respondents had reported emotional issues owing to lockdown. None was reported in the previous studies. The most encouraging result of our study was that despite being a troublesome and dramatic global situation, majority of respondents reported an optimal adherence to gluten-free diet. Also in children and adolescents, an improved adherence to gluten-free diet was observed as they were homebound with parents or caregivers. With subsequent calls, non-compliance also reduced to 10%. Thus, we can conclude telecounseling can be taken as an apt and accepted mode of counseling. Patients feel more connected with medical fraternity even during situations like strict lockdown or during the pandemic. As far as impact of lockdown is concerned, it is seen that if patient or caregivers empowered, the adverse impact is not that much observable. Consumption of naturally occurring or available gluten-free product should be encouraging as it is still an easily available option. A gluten-free diet being the mainstay of treatment should be promoted at every possible contact with patient, mother, or primary caregiver. And I would like to acknowledge all the doctors and nurses of the Department of Pediatrics, Sindhu Rao Hospital, who contributed in diagnosis and management of these children. Thank you.
Yes. Good morning, Gitanjali.
Very good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a very good and I think a very relevant study. So this has been done by you, right? It's a research work that's been done by you. And when was the period? When did you do it exactly?
Ma'am, from April 2020 to April 2021.
Okay. Went on for 1 year.
Yeah. Ma'am, it is not part of my research thing, not exactly part of my PhD research work. But since we are working in hospital and we have a dedicated celiac clinic and our hospital was dedicated as a celiac facility. So we just thought of utilizing the time period we had and getting in touch with our patients. So we just formalized our performa and everything and then we started doing it.
Okay. So, but it went on for 1 year.
So,
how often, what was the frequency of calling?
Ma'am, actually, since the majority of people who are visiting our center are migrant population, and when lockdown was imposed, they just moved to their native states. So when I contacted one person, maybe the number was switched off. Then again, as per my routine protocol, I contacted them again. So it took me close to 4 to 5 months in getting in touch with 98 patients. If I take my initial data, it was just 38 patients. So to collect data of 98 patients, it took us 5 to 6 months. And then we started the repeated calling, maybe after 6 months of the initial contact. Thus, the study time period expanded to 1 year.
That means after the first contact, what was the frequency? I wanted to know. How often did you call the same person?
When they had any kind of problem where we had to get in touch with the medical practitioner, so we were contacting them monthly. But if there was no problem, they were contacted after 6 months.
After 6 months. Okay.
Same as the protocol of our clinic when it is run physically. If there are no issues, we call them after 6 months.
6 months. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. And what did you observe? Did they have any difficulty? Like I can see from your results that they were pretty well informed and well aware, and the caregivers were also well informed, and they were able to generally follow the gluten-free diet.
Yes, ma'am.
So is there some connection between the area where you studied being in Delhi? Does that help, or was that an advantage?
Ma'am, not exactly, because as I shared, majority of our respondents had moved to their native places. But at every point of contact, we have always emphasized on naturally available gluten-free flours. We because the population that we have, because if we go for a normal market commercial gluten-free products, for many of them it's kind of beyond reach.
It's
So we always recommend them to buy a chakki if possible, or grind it in at their home and go for the natural flour, since that has been practiced, so they were able to sustain it even at their native places.
Right. Okay, so the natural things were definitely better. And definitely the commercial ones are very difficult to get, and everybody cannot afford it because the cost also goes very high.
Yes, ma'am. The clientele that we have is very marginalized population.
I agree. Right. Fine. And what was the age group generally? Were they children?
Ma'am, the age group that we have catered to, it's 2 to 10 years.
2 to 10 years. Okay. Yeah. So pediatrics, right? Huh.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Gitanjali. Yeah.
Yes, Gitanjali, it is good work.
Thank you so much, sir.
I hope that you will continue this work further to get more data. Yes, now we have
The
only
stage
taken,
3 is in planning. So we
yes,
are just finalizing our performer for that. What else we can include in our stage 3? So we are just contemplating with that.
yes, you have taken only 113 sample. I mean the patient. So
these are our registered cases.
yeah, registered.
Yeah.
You have to select that the minimum number of patient on which you will carry out the further study, I think. Because this is only because of the availability of
yes, sir.
Registered patient with you. But if you want to take it on further level, then I hope that you have to select the number of patients, that how many patients will be sufficient to get the exact result.
So this was basically we can say it was our initial study. So once we are through with our paper for documentation in place, we are planning to get in touch with Celiac Society of India so that we can get more numbers and registered patients with other hospitals, especially Maulana Azad Medical College.
Yes, you have to increase the
and
number
Chacha
of
Nehru, yeah,
people.
and Chacha Nehru. These are in the pipeline.
So what is the major hurdle in this work?
Sir, if we stick to the telephonic part, the major hurdle is most of the people keep on changing their number because the hospitals also that I shared with you are dealing with the marginalized patients.
Yes.
So if their numbers, they keep on changing, they move to their native place or they shift their state. So getting in touch with them is little difficult. That was only one hurdle that I come across. Getting a number of 98 took me close to 6 months.
Okay.
Once they are counseled well, we do follow-up counselings also. So kind of conviction is there in the patient. But getting the first contact is the initial thing that we have to plan basically. Yeah.
I think educational status of family also matter in this case.
Sir, we can say that because with our marginalized population, the bread earner is the male. He is the dominating figure. And the parity of female is very high. She is mainly bound with the taking care of the children. And in our study, I haven't shared that data because I haven't collaborated it as yet. The family study also suggests that since it is a genetic thing, so we also have data how, like in a family of 4 children, 2 are positive, 2 are negative. Mother's attention is getting diverted. How to take care of that? So these aspects also we are planning how to take care of that.
Yeah, affordability is also one issue.
Yes.
I think a lot of things are there, I think, that in this case. So of course your work is promising.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I agree. I agree also, Navinji. It is a big challenge for any family to handle this situation. A celiac patient in the home is very challenging.
And especially when half of the kids are celiac, other half are non-celiac.
Yeah, yeah. Maintaining that, like you said, the cooking separate kitchen or separate cooking, that's not easy.
And ma'am, like the commercial food products that are available, especially the biscuits, the cookies that are just easy to grab. So one child is having it, other one is not having it.
Very
then
difficult,
managing this also takes a good amount of time for the caretaker.
Right.
So we always go for the family counseling. That also takes a lot of time.
But at least the awareness is increasing. I believe that is helping a lot. At least people know now that what is a celiac disease and what are the challenges, how it has to be addressed. Before a few years, the information was also so low.
Yes, ma'am. In last decade, yes, definitely.
Detecting it also was very less. Now, at least the detection and the understanding is high. So I'm sure it is improving now.
Okay, thank you, Gitanjali. So we move to the next one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Next one is Ena, Shikha Sharma, Sumit Singh, Piyush Punia, R.P. Mishra, and A.S. Padma from Indian Institute of Farming System Research, Modipura. Anyone is here? Okay, no one is there. So we can move to the previous one, Dhruv Thakur, Tanya Nagpal, and Jackie Sausar. Mr. Dhruv, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, yeah, audible?
Yes, sir. Am I audible now?
Audible, audible. You can start yours. Yes,
Hello. Can you see my screen, sir?
Yes, it is there.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'll be presenting on my topic, formation of 4-hydroxy 2 non-enol in an incompatible combination of egg and cheese. So Virodahara is or very well known as incompatible diet was a major topic of concern for all ancient Ayurvedic practitioners. It can be caused by foods that are not in the right mix, are processed incorrectly, are consumed at the wrong dose or at the wrong time of the day, as well as in the wrong season. So, according to ancient Ayurvedic literature, intake of egg and cheese is a common type of incompatible combination. Although egg and cheese, when consumed separately, are very nutritious for our health, but we do not know what happens when both of them are combined and how their combination is incompatible for our health. So, hence, a lipid oxidation product known as HNE was quantified in our study. So for this purpose, egg and cheese combination was heated together between temperatures ranging from 90 to 210 degrees Celsius. Thereby, its oil was extracted because oil or fat phase only itself contains the HNE as a compound. Thereafter, certain lipid oxidation products were quantified within this study so as to deem this combination as incompatible. So here are the results. As we can see, the peroxide value ranged between 7 to 10, which signified a moderate oxidation of the product. So peroxide value is basically the which indicates the primary oxidation in any oil or fat product. Next quantification was done of P-anisidine value, which gives, because peroxide value in itself is not a complete indicator of oil oxidation. So we need to we need to add another indicator of secondary oxidation, which is anisidine value. In this study, we found out that anisidine value was well within the limits certified by the Global Organization for EPA and DHA omega-3 fatty acids. Whereas when HNE was quantified, which is a highly toxic product, so the values ranged between 22 to 42 microgram per kg, and all the results signified that with increasing temperature, there was an increase in these compounds, whereas at around the highest temperature, the HNE started to decompose, and its quantity or its concentration was reduced. So we have been able to demonstrate that HNE, which is a toxic aldehyde, was produced during the heat treatment of cheese and egg combination. HNE toxicity has been related to a number of common pathological conditions, and it causes various diseases such as Parkinson's, or we can call Alzheimer's also, and it has been also found in liver disease. So frequently consumption of food which may contain HNE is of a big public health concern because it leads to various such harmful diseases and which are also life-threatening. So thank you. I would like to express my sincere thanks to IIT Delhi for providing this opportunity and for financial support of the project as well. That's it. That's all from my side.
Okay. Mr. Dhruv?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this is, I believe, your own study. It's a research
Yes,
work.
ma'am.
Okay. So one thing is it a part of your a larger study, or is it a small project that you have taken?
This initially was a smaller project, but maybe later on it will be definitely a part of my larger study.
Okay. Right. So, matlab, I just asked because being a food technologist, it's an interesting topic, and
Yes, ma'am.
Ayurveda is gaining acceptability and popularity in the recent years. We have all seen.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
and we have all heard from childhood that this should not be eaten with this and so on. So it is an interesting study. But I mean, how exactly did you think about it? That why egg and cheese, this combination?
Ma'am, actually, certain literature studies, I found out that they have mentioned egg and cheese, although they did not mention which type of brand, not brand, which type of cheese or which type of egg. So, but they definitely mentioned that egg and cheese is incompatible combination. Plus, plus they have also mentioned that consumption of protein and fat intake when processed together is also incompatible. So that narrowed it down somewhat.
Because I'm asking you because cheese, what do you mean? Matlab, cheese is not an Indian product as such. Do you mean chena or paneer?
No, ma'am. Cheese only. Cheese
it's
itself.
Processed cheese. Okay, cheddar cheese.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Because this doesn't come in Ayurveda really, and neither does egg so much.
No, it was mentioned in specifically mentioned that egg and cheese combination is incompatible. Although they did not mention the variety.
Navinji, what do you think? Matlab, cheese in Ayurveda, cheese to Indian product hai nahi na? It is.
Yeah, cheese is not there. I think.
Chena
Not
could be there.
mentioned, but
okay.
Coagulated milk, curdled milk ho sakta hai.
Yes, exactly. Such kind of terms, I don't think they are mentioned in the Ayurveda.
So I don't think you can say.
They were no. Okay. I get that point, but it was written in certain review articles.
Yeah.
So I took it from there.
As mentioned, as Madam asked, why only these two, egg and cheese? Have you seen any issue related to this that people are consuming egg and cheese? That's why you have taken this. So is there anything that you have taken this problem?
Sir, actually, no data is available, but as we can see that egg and certain these are products which are regularly consumed, I guess, in street food also. It is very
good. There are a lot of things like, of course, Ayurveda has mentioned Virudh Ahara.
Yes.
But what is the justification of taking egg and cheese? There are other things you will take than those things. Means, I don't think that we are consuming egg and cheese together. Then why you have taken this?
I think many of the, Western or fast foods he may be feeling, maybe something like burgers.
Yes, ma'am.
In those foods, yes, it may be.
Those foods also.
You cannot claim Ayurveda effect here. That's what I mean. Because Ayurveda ka to ye component hi nahi hai. Cheese is not a part of Ayurvedic studies or literature anywhere. Ye cheese to hai nahi Ayurveda mein. Yes, you said protein and fat. So wo, that can work maybe. Protein and fat, protein or fat in mein hai. But you cannot say according to Ayurveda, egg and cheese should not be taken together because egg and cheese dono hi Ayurveda mein as such mentioned nahi honge.
Okay, ma'am.
The idea can be taken from Ayurveda, but these products are not strictly the Indian products, which may be mentioned in Ayurvedic literature.
Okay, ma'am.
Right. And one more thing I wanted to ask was, iska oil, you've said you heated it together.
Yes, ma'am.
Whole egg? Was it?
No, ma'am. Egg white only.
Egg white only. Okay. Egg white and cheese, processed cheese.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you heated it together. You mean you cooked it together, boiled it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then how did you extract the fat?
Ma'am, there is this method specified here. According to Kasalini, what they did was extracted oil using sodium sulfate and hexane, ma'am.
Okay, organic solvents.
Yes, ma'am.
सॉक्सलेट से किया था क्या? सॉक्सलेट में
नहीं मैम, सॉक्सलेट से नहीं किया मैम, सॉक्सलेट से
सॉल्वेंट एक्सट्रैक्शन ही है।
Yes मैम, सॉल्वेंट एक्सट्रैक्शन किया by homogenizing it together with sodium sulfate and hexane twice.
Okay. And then you studied the fat, the changes in the fat, the oxidation, etc.
Yes ma'am.
Okay, so not too much with protein. Protein का कुछ analysis तो नहीं किया ना कि protein में क्या change हुआ है? Only the fat you have studied.
Yes ma'am, we currently only the fat, but later on I will try to go into that part also.
Because definitely protein में भी changes आ रहे होंगे. Some
yes ma'am, definitely.
And due to the interaction, that also can be studied to get a whole view, a holistic view.
Yes ma'am, definitely.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Dhruv.
Thank you ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dhruv.
Thank you, sir.
So this study was more or less a combination of fast food, which are increasingly at street food also, where so many combinations are used. So there you can identify more and more this
combinations. Yes, sir, definitely.
Which should not be there, because most of them are promoted as healthy foods.
Yes, sir. Exactly, sir.
Yes, no, actually, there should be proper justification. If
yes,
you have done something, you should give proper justification.
Yes, sir.
The study can be enhanced with no parameters. Okay, so we will move to the next participant. It is Shivangi Mishra and Rafi Singh from NIFTAM. So the next one is the Pawan Kumar Prakash, Mudhu Kumar S, and Jyoti Lakshmi from CFA Rai Mysore.
Hello, sir. I'm audible.
You're audible. You can start sharing.
I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, screen is visible.
Yeah, sir, is my screen visible?
Visible. You are also visible.
Okay. Shall I start, sir?
Yeah, you can start.
Yeah, can I start?
You can.
Okay. A very good morning to one and all. I, P. Pawan Kumar, would like to welcome you to my poster entitled Supplementation of Milk Protein Hydrolysates in Protein Deficient Rats and the crosstalk that exists between gut dysbiosis and the state of immunity. This understanding has paved the way for formulation of a beverage mix. So, I quote, malnutrition can be common in poverty as well as in the wealthy. While one arises due to scarcity of food, the other arises due to lack of understanding of food. So saying, I would like to draw your attention to protein energy malnutrition, or PEM, which continues to be an ominous threat worldwide and is responsible for more than 10.8 million deaths annually among children. PEM leads to immunodepression, which in turn leads to malabsorption in the gut, and that contributes to increased susceptibility of infections. And as this vicious cycle perpetuates, we find that it ultimately results in death. So saying, PEM is quite grave in nature and is often called as the primary nutritional problem in India, and is categorized as the first national nutritional disorder. The nutritional approach, protein hydrolysates can make a viable therapeutic option for preventing and controlling PEM, as they are better absorbed in our intestine and also have various biofunctional properties, including immunomodulatory, antimicrobial, and antioxidative properties. Our study design involved induction of protein energy malnutrition in rats at two different levels, 5% and at 1%, categorized as moderate and severe protein deficiency rats, which was carried out for 3 weeks, followed by a replenishment wherein we had screened around 8 different milk proteins. Among them, buffalo milk and whey protein hydrolysates were selected, while casein, this group was served as a positive control. The induction of P was evident through weight loss studies wherein body weight decreased by 198 and 308% in our moderate and severe protein deficient groups. Replenishment improved the body weight significantly. Furthermore, the induction of PEM was confirmed by decrease in serum albumin, serum creatinine, as well as our total protein. There was decrease in nitric oxide as well as catalase in our protein deficient groups. And it improved significantly upon replenishment, particularly in our whey protein hydrolysate groups. Histological findings revealed that hyperplasia and gut damage was evident in our protein deficient groups, and replenishment with whey and buffalo milk hydrolysates reversed this condition, while that was not the case in case of casein. Also, the levels of secretory IgA and immunostimulatory cytokines were significantly reduced in PM rats, and this continued to be the case even upon replenishment. Our gut microbiota studies are the first of its kind with respect to studying the effect of milk protein hydrolysates on protein deficiency. We find that firmicutes, or the beneficial bacteria, decreased by 25% in our protein deficient groups, whereas we find that there is increase in Bacteroidetus and Proteobacter significantly. These are basically the harmful or the pathogenic bacteria. Replenishment yielded some quite interesting results, wherein the keystone species, that is Lactobacillus deberkii as well as Johnsai, increased significantly upon replenishment, whereas the pathogenic bacteria decreased. These insights have led to have paved the way for formulation of a beverage mix of a mango beverage, wherein milk hydrolysates were incorporated at 10% levels based on sensory analysis. I would like to conclude saying that PM increased Proteobacter and decreased probiotic bacteria, while replenishment with the hydrolysates decreased the pathogenesis and with significant improvement in our probiotic bacteria. There is a complex interplay between gut microbiome and immunity, wherein milk protein hydrolysates play a crucial role as that ingredients. A beverage mix that has been incorporated with milk protein hydrolysates can be recommended for children for improving their immune system. Thus, I would like to end my talk to the words of Thomas Edison, wherein he says the doctor of the future will no longer treat diseases through drugs, but rather through nutrition. And this research of mine is a small step in the same direction. Thank you.
Yes, sir, you are muted. Alok, sir.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. If any question is there?
Yes, Pawan.
Yes, sir.
You have used protein hydrolysate from milk.
Yes, that's right, sir.
So on one side, they are acting as prebiotic.
Yes.
And on another
side,
side,
also acting as probiotic. Yes, that's right, sir.
Yeah, prebiotic, because they are increasing the growth of good bacteria. And on the other side, they are decreasing the growth of other bacteria, pathogens.
Yes.
Means they are acting as antimicrobial as well.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, sir. But we have done some in vitro studies wherein we have tried to find out if our hydrolysates had antimicrobial activities against common pathogens like E. coli. In the in vitro studies, we did find that they didn't have significant antimicrobial properties, but yes, our cell culture, cell line studies revealed that they had good immunomodulatory properties, especially with respect to increasing nitric oxide production.
Okay, so you have prepared the hydrolysate or you have purchased them?
No, sir, we have prepared.
You have prepared?
We have prepared both in lab scale as well as in pilot scale studies.
How
We
you
have actually,
prepared?
we have started from the beginning wherein like buffalo milk, we have procured from the source, and around 40 to 50 liters we have processed, and we have fed it to the animals. So none of it is purchased, none of it is commercial.
How you prepared?
Everything was done on lab scale.
hydrolysate?
Yes, sir.
What was the process?
The process is very simple. We have used the food degrading enzyme. We have maintained the adequate conditions in a reactor. Our reactor had around 50 liters of capacity. Milk proteins, milk was, the proteins were concentrated. After that, 15% ratio of solids was used. We have added 1% of crude enzyme. After that, we have spray dried it. And then we have incorporated it in the rat diet at 50% level. The hydrolysates were 50% of protein, and then we have fed it to the rats.
Okay.
Which enzyme?
Ma'am, we have used the food because we are feeding it our basic target is children. We have used a food enzyme that is alkylase. Alkylase has been is well known for both antioxidant as well as immunomodulatory properties.
Alkylase.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You use this for the extraction of the protein, the separation of protein from the milk.
No, this is for denaturing the proteins, for generating hydrolysates. We have the concentration of proteins was done by a simple method. We have just removed the fat.
You've removed the fat from the milk.
We have freeze-dried the milk, and we have removed the fat. We wanted the carbohydrate to be there because, as Sir was saying, we also needed a prebiotic ingredient, and lactose in milk serves as a prebiotic ingredient in the gut. So we didn't want to remove the carbohydrate.
Okay, so the lactose was still there.
Yes, ma'am.
The lactose, the minerals, everything was there. Only the fat has been removed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can you call this protein hydrolysate?
Yes, ma'am. We have confirmed through HPLC, SDS, as well as our MS studies, ma'am.
What do you think, Naveenji? I think this is more like defatted milk, concentrated defatted milk, I think.
Ma'am, sorry, ma'am. The buffalo milk was defatted, whereas the whey was purchased. So whey actually is 80%, 80% protein. So this is more like the protein hydrolysase that we are getting from whey has very negligible amount of lactose.
Okay.
But whereas buffalo, since we have procured from the source, they have more content of lactose. But yes, while we were administering it to the rats, we have ensured it is an isocaloric diet, and the protein concentration, that is 15% of protein concentration was there in our diet. Among that 15% of protein, 75% protein hydrolysate. Calculated accordingly, and we have fed it so that we have to be sure that the effect is because of protein and not because of any other component in milk.
Okay, so it's concentrated whey powder plus.
Not whey hydrolysate, ma'am. We have
whey protein hydrolysate.
Yes, yes, that's right.
Okay, so that combination, fine. So what is the conclusion you would say from your study?
Ma'am, the conclusion is that we can use this as a good intervention approach among malnourished kids. That is our target. Because as we know, more than 41% of our Indian children, according to NFHS data, are malnourished. That is, they are stunted in their growth. Among around 35% of our children are underweight, and 21% exhibit wasting. So the thing we are trying to do is develop a food wherein we can combat protein deficiency among the underage 5 children. So that is our aim here and our objective. Hopefully, we are still carrying out some more studies wherein we are trying to find that, since in the present study we have incorporated hydrolysate at 50% of protein concentration. Now the beverage has 10% of hydrolysate. We want to see if this is effective. So we are still carrying out some trials before we go to PDRU and feed it to the children.
Okay, good wishes. It's a good study.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pawan.
Thank you, sir.
So we will move to the next participant. TS09 EP5, Mominul Haq and Srinivas Janaswamy from South Dakota State University.
Thank you so much, sir, for doing this for me.
You can start sharing.
Can everyone see my screen right now?
Yeah, it is there.
Yes. I'm really happy to have this opportunity to showcase my research on AMIFOST 2022. Today, I'm going to talk on banana peel cellulose that is that stand out as an alternative to develop biodegradable plastics. So, due to lack of biodegradability, the environmental and health concern regarding plastic disposal are immense. And plastic takes more than 700 years to biodegrade, and only actually 6% get recycled, no matter how much recycled bin we are using. The rest ends up in landfills and oceans that kills more than 1 million of marine animals each year. The leaching of chemicals such as polypropylene from the plastic that transfer to human and wildlife induce harmful and carcinogenic health impact. Moreover, plastic production is mainly dependent on non-renewable fossil sources, that is oil, that is also depleting right now. So due to the detrimental impact of plastic and depletion of oil, it warrants design and development of some sustainable alternative. And toward this end, cellulose from the bio-waste banana peel stand out as a viable alternative to develop biodegradable plastic. And so this is
zoom your slide.
Thank you, sir.
Not
the objective of this research was to extract cellulose from the banana peel and find out the optimum concentration of zinc chloride to solubilize the extracted cellulose, that is further strength by cross-linking by adding more calcium chloride, develop biodegradable plastics, and finally characterize film properties and functionality. Now let's move to the materials and method. After banana peel is collected, it is immediately dipped into potassium metabisulfite solution for 24 hours to prevent enzymatic browning. And when enzymatic browning reaction is inhibited, it is dried and ground to powder that is subjected to alkaline treatment. And for alkaline treatment, we used 5% potassium hydroxide solution that actually remove the hemicellulose content from the banana peel. And later it was subjected to bleaching treatment with 1% sodium chloride solution for 2 times. That mainly solubilize the lignin and color compound from the banana peel. And we can see here the picture that from the dark color, it's become totally white within the bleaching treatment. And after each chemical treatment, we have to wash the solution with distilled water so many times to neutralize the pH of the solution. And later the solution is filtered and white cellulose extract is dyed, and we have our final cellulose extract that we can see in the picture. However, due to the stiff structure of the cellulose that is insoluble in water, and to overcome this problem, we used zinc chloride solution, and we trial with a different concentration of zinc chloride that is between 67 to 72%, and we find out that 68% zinc chloride solution is the best one to solubilize the cellulose. For solubilization of the cellulose, first we swell the cellulose for 30 minutes in water bath at 65 degrees Celsius. That is added with 68% zinc chloride solution and kept at 80 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes for complete solubilization of the cellulose. And further, the crosslink between the zinc cellulose chain is strengthened by addition of calcium chloride. And we actually focus on the effect of calcium chloride concentration on the film characteristics. And after adding calcium chloride, we kept it in water bath for 5 more minutes before the plating of the film. For the film formation, we used a glass plate, and the film is plated using a chromatographic plate applicator. And ethanol is used to coagulate the film. And after a film is separated from the glass plate, it is framed and subjected to water washing for several times to remove the excess salt. So in the final film, we don't have any salt remaining here. And at the end, it is dipped in 5% glycerol solution for 5 minutes to have a film with high tensile strength. Now let's move to the results section. In the results section, we can see in the first chart, that is biodegradability, that is given as a percentage of weight loss. The films is completely biodegradable. That depends on the soil condition, which we used 20% moisture content, and the amount of cross-linking by calcium chloride. For the first line, we can see that, which is for 200 millimolar calcium chloride, the films completely biodegrade within 35 days. But there is a significant slight decreases in the percentage of weight loss with the increase of calcium chloride concentration. And in case of 500 millimolar calcium chloride concentration, we can see that is the last one, and it lost about 94% of its weight within 35 days. And for the tensile strength, which is given in a megapascal, we can see that there's a significant increases of the tensile strength with the increase of calcium chloride concentration from 200 to 500 millimolar. This is because of good cross-linking between the zinc cellulose chain because of higher amount of calcium chloride. And more interestingly, we can see here the red one, the bar graph, which is for polyethylene, that we can see the tensile strength for even the 200 millimolar calcium chloride film is much higher compared to the commercial polyethylene film. And in case of the elongation at break, the trend is opposite. We can see that with the increase of calcium chloride concentration, the elongation at break actually decrease. That because when we are adding more calcium chloride, there is better cross-linking and films become more hard. That actually reduces the elasticity. And for that reason, the elongation during break decrease. And for the transparency, we can also see, which is given a log percentage of transparency per thickness of the film, which is in millimeter, that increases in calcium chloride concentration significantly increases the film transparency. That actually can be useful for the product that need to be observed from the outside. And then nowadays, there is a lot of product available in the market that need to be observed by outside by the consumer. And for water vapor permeability, we can see here, there is a significant decreases between water vapor permeability from the sample with 200 millimolar of calcium chloride and the last one, which is 500 millimolar. And that actually decreasing, and that can be attributed to the thickness of the film actually, because with the high amount of calcium chloride, the thickness, because of the high amount of soluble solid, the thickness of the film is slightly increasing. That may be a reason. And for water solubility, we can see even with the increase of calcium chloride concentration, the water solubility decrease. That can be actually a reason for lower biodegradation rate from the film with a higher amount of calcium chloride in the first chart. So overall, in conclusion, I'll say cellulose-based film from the banana peels are biodegradable, that is transparent, as well as it have high tensile strength compared to the commercial polyethylene film. However, further research is required to improve the water vapor permeability of this product. And significance, the use of production of plastics from the banana peel can provide significant value addition to the banana processor, especially to the industry that are making chips out of banana, because they are just discarding their peel, and that's also causing some environmental problem. As well as it can also aid to reduce the dependency on the fossil fuel that is depleting right now at a serious concern. Acknowledgement, I am thankful to USD and IFA that they are supporting this research project for us. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Momilan. Is there any quick questions out there? They can be asked. What is the plasticizer here?
Glycerol.
Glycerol.
Yes.
Good afternoon, good morning, Mominul. I would like to ask something. It is, I just want to know what is the purpose of the alkaline treatment here, as we can see in the image?
Okay. You're asking about the alkaline treatment. Yes.
Yeah.
So we are actually treating with potassium hydroxide, and the main purpose of alkaline treatment is to solubilize the hemicellulose content that is also present in the banana peel, and that becomes solubilized after the alkaline treatment, and it's later removed with the water washing, because after each chemical treatment here, after the chemical treatment, we are washing with the water several times with the distilled water that actually remove the solubilized part. And alkaline treatment is mainly to remove the hemicellulose from the peel.
Okay. And you have taken different concentrations of calcium chloride in your study?
Yes, actually we are observing the effect of cross-linking calcium chloride amount of the film properties.
And you found quite a bit of difference in most of the properties because of the calcium chloride.
Yes, we have quite a lot of difference.
Okay. How did you study the transparency? The units, I'm not very clear.
Okay, actually the transparency here, I'll just give you a brief about the methods we are using. So we are taking the absorbance, UV absorbance transmittance using a spectrophotometer at 600 nanometer. Okay. And for this reason, what we are doing, we are cutting the film according to the size of the cuvette, that is 3x1. We are attaching it to the one surfaces, and we are using a cuvette that is clear and dry one as a control, and taking the transmittance actually at 600 nanometer. And later there is some calculation, that is we are doing log percentage of T, and millimeter is actually the thicknesses of the film. We are divided it by the thicknesses.
Okay, so it is the transmittance basically of the film directly, the film you're putting in the cuvette.
Yes, that is transmittance.
Okay, by that you have measured. Fine. And for water solubility?
Okay, for water solubility, actually mainly we are determining the percentage of weight, how much it's become solubilized in water. So what we're doing, we are drying the film fast at 105 degrees Celsius, taking the initial weight, and later we kept it in 50 ml of water in a water bath at 75 RPM for overnight. And next day again we are drying it, and from the weight of W2 we are just calculating the percentage of how much weight is actually solubilized in the water.
Okay. In 24 hours.
Yes.
Fine. So you, I could just see, if I talk about the tensile strength, you have found that it is higher than polythene.
Yes, this is actually the low density polythene. We used one of the polythene that is available here from Walmart supermarket. So is their polythene. But I'd like to mention that, but for the elongation of the polythene, I will say that the elasticity that much better than our film, because our case, elongation is not that better. But for the polythene, their elongation is really good, but tensile strength is better for cellulose film.
Okay, so the stretchability of the film is not very high in your case.
Yes, actually, you can see here, this is the elongation. It's actually
because you haven't given the elongation for the PE, so.
Actually, that's almost, I'll say, like, if I add here, it's become too long compared to other one. That's why I do not add. The graph looks bad.
But yeah, it is the elongation is higher, the stretchability is higher for PE as compared to these films.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, but still it is a good use of waste.
Yes, actually now we are focusing on that thing, increasing the permeability, and we are also trying to try different one instead of glycerol. We are using JNP in that or some other thing to see whether we can increase the elasticity or elongation. That will be really great if we can.
Can you also call this an edible film? Would it be in
No,
that category?
no.
No.
Oh, right now we are not focusing on edible one.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Mominul, this is good work because everybody is concerned about the plastic and people are working on the biodegradable plastic. But I have some curiosity to know more about these biodegradable material which we are synthesizing. First thing, what will be the shelf life of these products? And because they are biodegradable in nature, that means they are prone to the degradation due to microbes. So what is the commercial application of this technology?
So you're asking about the food application, am I right?
Yes, yes.
Actually, till now, I'll say we do not apply to any food product yet, but for the biodegradability, as long as I know, actually it depends on the soil condition. For this taste, we use 20% moisture content, but even we are changing the soil condition, the films are biodegrade in a long period of time. It takes more longer time to biodegrade. But for definitely, if we are thinking about directly applying for the food product, we first need to improve the water vapor permeability for sure. And I think for storage life stability, we need to add either some antioxidant compound, something that can prevent lipid oxidation. Because actually in my undergrad, I will mention that I work on the starch-based film added with moringa leaf extract as antioxidant. In that time, actually, we focus a little bit on the storage life that can prevent lipid oxidation because of the antioxidant compound. But here we are not directly adding any antioxidant compound right now. But this is one part of our research that we are extracting white cellulose. In another part, we are making colored film. In that case, we are not treating with any bleaching compound. We are just treating with the alkaline treatment. And what we are thinking that that have some lignin present in the film, and it has some antioxidant compound too. So that may be helpful to prevent some antimicrobial compound. But before doing some adding any antimicrobial compound or doing some experiment, actually I am not going to say that this product can be directly used for the food application right now.
I think Navinji, it is you wanted to ask for Mominal, you're little. It is not just food. Whatever you pack in it, anything if you pack in it, the package itself should be stable. If the package,
yes. If now I understand, like
if we are using some plastic material to protect our biodegradable film, and then we are using it for packaging any product, then what is the logic?
Can you ask it again?
That study is also needed. I think they haven't done it yet, but you have to see how stable is the packaging with this film that you have made. How
actually
long
the
can
film is really stable because some film that we made quite a lot of times, 6-8 months ago, it's quite good. You just stored in the room condition or something if you are not taking it for biodegradable taste.
Because paper is also the biodegradable, and paper itself is packaging material. Why don't we use paper just to pack the product only?
Paper tensile strength is definitely not like that film because it's like almost like a polythene. If you can see in the picture that one, actually it feels totally like a polythene. It's not like a paper that you can just tear. It's really hard to tear, and even it can withhold a good amount of weight. I have some picture, actually I don't add that. We don't do any experiment, but it can hold quite a lot of weight, like 700-800 gram. We see that it can withhold quite a lot of amount of weight for anything.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for presenting your work. Okay, next one is Anjali Goswami and Pragati Saini from Galgotia University.
Yes, sir. I will share my screen in a few minutes, in a few seconds. Is I
So do I
audible?
need to
Audible.
Hello, sir. Is I audible?
Audible. Audible.
Okay, sir. We'll share screen in a few seconds.
Present your work in 5 minutes only because we are having so many candidates.
Okay, sir.
Screen is visible.
Okay. So I'm audible, sir.
Audible. Is it a research work or review work?
Sir, it's just a e-poster.
Review work. You have done something
Yes,
or
sir.
just review?
Sir, it is a review work.
Review work. Okay.
Okay.
So just quickly explain whatever you have reviewed.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon. This is Anjali Goswami from Galgotiya University. Right now, I'm pursuing MSc Microbiology from Galgotiya University. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself. So my topic is food heritage makes a difference, the importance of cultural knowledge and the importance of traditional food system. Basically, with the help of this poster, I would like to talk about traditional food system. In my abstract, it is mentioned that if you talk about traditional food system, it is used to identify all food within a particular culture available from local natural resource and culturally accepted. I will discuss about the importance of cultural knowledge and importance of traditional food system. Here, according to Indian physiology, food was once given to us by Paramatma or God. As a result, it needs to be treated with big care. Food is consumed for the body, survival, and strength. In Indian tradition, fasting also play a very important role. It not only clean our body, it also cleans our mind and thoughts also. Because of cutting edge lifestyle, common culinary ideas have been radically altered in our society.
Okay,
If you
come to whatever your understanding is there. Come to the conclusion.
Okay, sir. Sir, Indian traditional foods are also recognized as functional foods because of the presence of functional components such as body healing chemical, antioxidants, dietary fibers, and probiotics. These functional molecules help in weight management and blood sugar level balance and support immunity of the body. If you talk about objective, Indian food is different from rest of the world, not only in a taste, but also in cooking method. It reflects perfect blend of various culture and age. Just like Indian culture, food of India has also influenced by various civilization, which have contributed their share in its overall development and the present form. Foods of India are better known for its spiciness. Throughout India is North India spices are generously in food, but the most not forget every single spice used in India dishes carries some or other nutritional as well as medicinal properties. If you talk about benefits of traditional food, it have less calories, less saturated fat, better for the heart, more zinc, more vitamin A. Conclusion: food is one of the basic necessity of human. Therefore, there should not be such problem that can cause serious health issue to protect consumer right. A wide variety of scientific techniques have been developed to protect consumer and to screen for adulteration in food. In essence, traditional foods are those whole and ancient food that have been eaten for century and even millennium. They are the foods that your great grandmother and grandfather would have eaten. They are simple, naturally grown or raised, nutrient dense and thoughtful prepared. Okay, sir, that's all about my presentation.
We've got it point. Okay, thank you for presenting your work.
Thank you so much, sir.
Next one is Soumya Chaturvedi, Technical Sachan, Priyadarshini from the Delhi University. Anyone is there? I think Priyadarshini is there. Priyadarshini. Okay, he is. Okay, next one is Mahala Malimeru and Dr. Kanna Singh from Sharda University.
Yes, sir. Okay. Am I audible?
Audible.
Okay.
You are visible.
Okay. Is my screen visible, sir? Hello?
Yeah, it is. Loading.
Okay.
So this is a research work or review?
Research work, sir.
Okay. Quickly explain. Come to your methodology, how you make this quickly bar. You can zoom on the slide.
Oh, come on. So it's my PPT just closed.
Any problem is there? We can take it later.
It's opening now, sir. Can you move to someone way of making
we will
this?
take it later.
Okay.
Okay, next presenter is Raquel Kevrenge. Is there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can start here.
Is my screen visible, sir?
Yeah, it is loading. Loaded.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rachel from Shala University. This afternoon, this morning, I'm going to present on the study on knowledge active practices of lactating mothers on complementary feeding. Complementary feeding is like the transition from exclusive breastfeeding to family food, and complementary feeding sets a good foundation for the child's health throughout the course of life.
Your voice is very low.
Sorry, sir.
No, it's okay. Voice.
And also, please make it bigger, Miss Rachel.
Okay, ma'am.
Fit to screen.
From down you can do it.
Yeah. Click it, more. Okay.
Is this okay?
Yes, that's fine.
So what were your objective? And two things are just to tell.
Sorry, sir.
What were your objective and what you conclude?
Okay. So the objectives of this research was to identify the knowledge, practice, and attitude of mothers regarding complementary feeding and to assess the nutritional status of children. Materials and methods. The research was a quantitative descriptive approach and convenient sampling technique was used. The sample was 200, in which 100 were mothers and 100 were children. Data collection, structured questionnaire questions were used for the knowledge and practice of mothers, and Likert scale was used for attitude. Data analysis, demographic data was analyzed by frequency and percentage, and knowledge, practice, and attitude of mothers and nutrition status of their children was analyzed by frequency and percentage. Results. From the results, it shows that from the results, you can see that the main percent for the mothers was 17.48, and the standard deviation was 3.95. The actual score was 2.81 and the standard deviation was 8.11. The practice score was 9.42 and the standard deviation was 2.8. And for the nutrition status of children, we can see that 56% of the children had mild malnutrition, while 22% was for normal weight and moderate malnutrition, respectively. There was no case of severe malnutrition. So from these results, we can conclude that there is a lack of knowledge, poor practices, and lack of knowledge and poor practices amongst mothers in some aspects of complementary feeding. And also from the study, we can conclude that a significant number of children were found to have mild malnutrition, which can be attributed to the fact that most mothers were not aware of some aspects of complementary feeding. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Rachel, I have one question from you.
Yes.
Your second objective is to assess the nutritional status of children. So
Yes.
what you have done to assess the nutritional status?
For the assessment of nutritional status of children, I had to take height for children and the weight for the children.
Apart from this, anything you had done?
No, only this.
Okay. Okay, fine. So judges, any more question?
Okay, so there is no question. So we will move to the next one.
Yes.
So next is Sajal Vatarai and Srinivasa Janaswamy. It is from the South Dakota State University. Anyone is there? Yeah, you are there. Visible.
Am I audible, sir?
Audible also. You can start sharing.
So,
yeah,
first of all, I would like to thank MIT University India for providing me this opportunity to present our research here. Yeah, about our research, we have tried to utilize spent coffee grounds as a viable source of plastic replacing biodegradable films. To start with, we all know that plastics are non-biodegradable and they take around 700 years to degrade. And they have been one of the major nuisance in today's environmental conditions. But again, we have cellulose, which is an abundant and sustainable bio-waste from agricultural biomass, as well as different other biological materials. And these items could be used to develop plastic replacing materials. Talking about the spent coffee grounds, they are underutilized biomaterials from ground coffee and the coffee consumption, and it has a cellulosic fraction of about 12%. So in this research, we have tried to develop biodegradable packaging materials with high tensile strength and UV blocking properties as well. So the objectives of our research was to extract cellulose from spent coffee grounds, and we prepared biodegradable films from the SCG cellulose extract. And then we studied the effect of cellulose amounts and calcium chloride cross-linking on the film properties. As you can see in this figure, the figure just below the objectives, we can see that this is the film that we prepared, and it is almost transparent. Now, moving on with the materials and methods, we took the spent coffee grounds and then we subjected them to sodium hydroxide extraction, followed by bleaching with hydrogen peroxide and acetic acid in the ratio of 50:50. After that, we obtained the cellulose extract of SCG. This is a bit colored compared to other cellulose extracts that we prepared. This is possibly because of the high lignin content of the spent coffee grounds, which is about 24%. After that, we solubilized the cellulose extract in 68% zinc chloride solution, and then we cross-linked it with calcium ions. The cellulose concentrations we used was 0.6 gram, 0.8 gram, 1 gram, and 1.2 gram, each solubilized in 7.6 ml of zinc chloride solution. And then the calcium ion concentrations we observed was 0.1 gram, 0.2 gram, 0.3 gram, and 0.4 gram. After the solubilization, we casted the films on a glass plate with washing. in absolute alcohol several times, water, and 5% glycerol at last to add the flexibility to the film. After that, we dried the film, we framed the film and then dried it. After that, we have the biodegradable films that is presented on the rightmost figure on the screen. Once these films were prepared, we subjected them to different characterization, like for example, color, thickness, water absorption, water vapor permeability, visible and UV transmission, biodegradability, as well as tensile strength and elongation at break. Now moving on to the results. As you can see here, the whiteness index of the films, they actually increase with the cellulose concentration. We can see definitive pattern with the calcium chloride concentration, but the cellulose concentration, they increase the whiteness index. The same is the case in the case of yellowness index and also the total color difference index. In the case of total color difference, we can see that there is a gradual decrement in the total color difference with increasing cellulose content. The thickness, they were almost similar, ranging from 0.06 mm to 0.07 mm. Coming to the water vapor permeability, in all the cases, 0.6 gram cellulose, 0.8 gram cellulose, 1 and 1.2 gram cellulose, we can see that the increasing calcium chloride weight actually decreases the water vapor permeability. This is because upon addition of calcium chloride, the cross-linkings further is strengthened, because of which it blocks the water transmission. Coming to water absorption for cellulose, we have subjected the films to the water absorption properties for about 2 hours, and then we observe that the water absorption actually slowly it rises with the passing time. But then again, the difference in weight is actually decreasing with passing time. The same is the case in 0.8 gram cellulose, 1 gram, and 1.2 gram cellulose. However, we can see that with increment of the cellulose content, the water absorption is decreasing. Coming to film transparency, at 600 nanometer of spectrophotometric analysis, we observed that increment in the calcium chloride concentration increased the transparency of the film. However, we can see that the property has slowly decreased. Now, coming to the UV transmissions, which I believe is one of the most significant works of this research, we believe we can find that the transmittance, actually UV transmittance, it actually decreases. If you see here, and the most prominent wavelength that it blocks is around, it ranges from 290 to 320 nanometer. And with increasing cellulose content, we can see that the UV transmittance is almost 0%. The data, the minimum transmissions we observed was 0.37%, which is very significant. We believe that this is because of the lignin that has retained in the cellulose extract that we prepared. And thus, if you see the cellulose extract, original cellulose extract, we can see that it is a little bit colored compared to the white cellulose. So this color might be attributed to the lignin content of the cellulose extract we prepared. And because of that, this UV transmittance is almost 0%, as you can see here in the graph. And then we observed the tensile strength of the film that we prepared. And we found out that the 1.2 gram cellulose, it has the best tensile strength that ranges around 25 megapascals. In the case of polyethylene, we can see that it's around 2.5 megapascals under lab conditions. And this tensile strength is actually decreasing with increasing cellulose content and also with increasing calcium chloride content. Again, the elongation at break, we can see that the elongation at break is actually decreasing with increasing calcium chloride concentration. This might be because due to the subsequent cross-linking of the calcium chloride solution, the brittleness and the strength of the films increased, due to which they provided much resistance in the elongation property. Now, coming to the biodegradability of the films that we prepared, we can see that the biodegradability range from about, the minimum is around like about 38-39% in the case of 1 gram cellulose, to the maximum biodegradability is around 60% in the case of 0.6 gram cellulose and 1.2 gram cellulose. So these films are biodegradable. If we provide subsequent time, if we provide significant time for these to biodegrade, then it would reach 100%. And the moisture conditions maintained of the soil maintained for this biodegradability was about 20% throughout the experiment. Now, concluding the research that we did, we found out that the cellulose extract from SCG have a good potential to be developed into biodegradable packaging materials that could possibly replace plastics in the future. Now, the tensile strength and UV sealing properties of SCG cellulosic films are superior to the commercial plastic. Lastly, I would like to thank the US Department of Agriculture, National Institute for Food and Agriculture for funding this research. Thank you very much.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, Sajal. So it is, I can say, a good work. Coffee beans have been, they are currently being used and studied. We have seen other people also working on this. So can you tell me, after all these studies that you did, what is the major advantage? There are so many other materials which are being used for making biodegradable films. We had one on banana peel just before your presentation. So can you tell me, what do you feel is a major advantage of using coffee beans, spent coffee beans as the substrate?
What I believe is we have to look at this from a lot of perspectives. The first one I would say is that we are basically utilizing the waste, you know,
yeah,
and specifically being concerned with the US population. What happens is people drink a lot of coffee here, and there is a good population that uses the coffee beans to eat brewed coffee compared to the instant coffee that we use in South Asian nations. Compared to that, so that generates a lot of waste, and this waste is also significantly higher in the countries that produce coffee, like for example Brazil and India as well. So I think we are basically utilizing the waste in whatever form we can. And in our research, we are not just actually concentrated on spent coffee grounds, but on banana peels, as Mominul initially discussed. We have agricultural biomass, all the straw that would get wasted in the field. Of course, not all of that, because we have to keep some of that in the field for manure purposes. Whatever is waste, we could use that. And since cellulose is a significant amount of the biomaterial, we can literally use any material that has cellulose in it. That is the scope of this research. So I think one is the economic aspect, as you can see. And the second one is that what I can say is it's also the environmental concern, like from two perspectives. First of all, it's the plastic replacing, of course, I will discuss about that. The second one is that
Sajal, I just wanted a comparison between coffee and banana or so on. Just that. We know the advantages of using, replacing plastics. That we all know. The only thing I wanted you was, because since you're working on this, do you feel coffee beans or spent coffee has some special advantage over any other waste material?
Yeah.
Did you find something like that?
Yeah, of course I found it. The thing is that since coffee grounds, the extract that we prepared, it's kind of colored, and compared to banana peels, our films is a little bit colored. So as I've already discussed here, there is a lot of UV blocking property that we can see from the coffee grounds films. And this is, I think, one of the major research that we did. And this has like, for example, if we prepare let's take an example of a Tetra Pak packaging system. If we can add an additional layer there from outside, or maybe any other packaging material, if we can combine this film or the coffee grounds with any other biodegradable films in the future, then I think that will have a good UV blocking property. So this is one of the significant research that we have found.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, Mr. Sejal, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, I have one question.
Sure.
In any step while developing biodegradable films?
Yeah.
Sorry? Have you faced any hurdle in developing biodegradable films at any step? It was easy for you to develop it?
No, it was not easy, I would say, because we had to do, first thing was a lot of results, a lot of the tests, they required overnight research, I had to so that was sleepless nights for a lot of days. And besides that, one of the challenges that I faced was during the casting of these films, because since they make very viscous solutions when we solubilize the cellulose in the zinc chloride solution. And since we are doing manual casting in this process, it was really, really hard. So there was a lot of trials that we need to do. And coming through all that, we have been very successful.
Yes, yes, thank you. So any more questions from judges?
Yes, Hazel. What was the cellulose concentration in the coffee spent?
Oh, the cellulose concentration is around 12% in the spent coffee grounds. And we extracted the cellulose and then prepared films.
So when you were extracting it along with the cellulose, some other things, they were also being extracted because it is colored.
Yeah, it's colored. So we believe that there are some compounds and of course the lignin as well, which has provided the UV blocking properties to us. So those research are further being done in our laboratory, and hopefully will come in the future with new research based on that.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Sajal. We will move to the next participant.
Dr. Alok, I think there's a student who wants to present. She sent me a message also. Priyadarshini is there. I think she has some exam. Yeah.
Okay, Priyadarshini, you can start.
Thank you.
The title is NFC application in food industries. Isn't it?
Was done, I think, NFC application.
We can tell the poster number. So
You could tell the poster number. I think multiple authors are there.
I think there's a network issue with the.
Okay, next one is Dolly Sekia, Ankita Walia. Anyone? From MIT University, Rajasthan. Ravi sir, I think this is your group. Yeah. Screen looks visible.
Is my screen visible?
yes, it's visible.
So a very warm good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dolly Sekia, and currently I'm pursuing a master's in food technology at AMIFOST University, Rajasthan. So today I will talk about, is my screen visible?
On. Yeah, it's coming.
Okay. Sorry for the disturbance. So today I'll talk about sonication and microwave processing on elephant apple juice, a synergistic approach. So basically, elephant apple is an underutilized fruit which is found in Northeast India and some parts of West Bengal, Bihar, Uttarakhand, and Andhra Pradesh. So in this study, we had seen the combined effect of sonication and microwave processing on the quality improvement of elephant apple juice. So there were 7 samples of juice taken in which T0 minus and T0 plus were without any treatment, but T0 plus had the preservative KMS, whereas the samples T1 to T5 were treated with sonication of 2 minutes to 10 minutes in an arithmetic sequence and 2 minutes of microwave treatment. And these samples were stored for 30 days. The physiochemical analysis were done using the standard methodology, and the effect were observed according to the treatment time and the storage days. So we had seen that the TSS of elephant apple juice did not affect significantly, but there was a slight decrease after 30 days. And the maximum TSS was found in T0 minus, and the minimum was found in T1. There was no prominent change in the pH of the elephant apple juice. However, the pH decreased with the storage days, and the highest pH was found in T0 minus, and the lowest was found in T4. The pH increased with the storage days, and the titrable acidity had no significant changes, but here the titrable acidity increased with the storage days, and the maximum titrable acidity was found in T4, and the minimum was found in T0 minus. In case of ascorbic acid, there was significant changes. The highest ascorbic acid amount was found in T4, and the lowest was found in T0 minus. And in the case of flavonoid content, we could see that the flavonoid content reduced with the storage days. And in case of treatment, T4 had the highest flavonoid content, whereas T0 minus had the lowest. And in case of antioxidant activity, T4 had the highest antioxidant activity, and T0 minus had the lowest antioxidant activity. Here also, the antioxidant activity decreased with the storage days, and total phenolic content also decreased with the storage days. And in case of treatment, T4 has the highest phenolic content, and T0 minus had the lowest. So from this study, we can conclude that T4, the treatment T4, that is of 8 minutes of sonication and 2-minute microwave, had the maximum retention. And we can conclude from this study that the combined treatments of sonication and microwave retain the phytochemicals effectively, and hence sonication and microwave could be a better option for the treatment of juices. So I would like to thank AMIFOST 2022 for giving me an opportunity to present this small piece of work. And I would also like to thank Amity Institute of Biotechnology, Amity University, Rajasthan for the support. Thank you.
Thank you, Dolly. So this Trillinia indica is a very high browning rate fruit. So how you control the browning in the juice?
Sorry, sir, could you repeat your question?
How you control the browning in the juice?
Yes, sir. The browning can be controlled by a small preservative, that is KMS, but this is a natural color that is seen. And for the browning, a small amount is also controlled by the sonication.
Where you got the raw material?
The raw material was couriered from Assam.
Courier.
Right.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. We will move to the next one. Divyanshi Kapoor and Payal Mahajan from GD Goenka University. Yeah, Divyanshi, you are visible.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Amity University for giving me this opportunity. I, Divyanshi Kapoor, I'm a research scholar from GD Goenka University. The title of the e-poster of my study is Nutritional Assessment and Formulation of Lotus Stem Products for Adolescents' Health. So as we all know, like the iron deficiency is the most prevalent nutritional deficiency and most common cause of anemia in the world. Iron deficiency leads to anemia, as it's basically the defect could be the hemoglobin synthesis, like abnormally red blood cells or decreased amount of hemoglobin. According to WHO, the hemoglobin level should be 12 gram per deciliter for adolescent girls. So basically, the hemoglobin levels less than 8 gram per deciliter is considered as moderate.
Please come to your objectives of this study. Quickly complete.
So the objectives of this e-poster are to assess the prevalence of iron deficiency in adolescent girls, to assess the nutritional knowledge with special reference to iron, to develop iron-rich products with incorporation of lotus stem, as the scientific name is Nelumba nucifera, and to develop a self-help disc for intervening the population with information related to iron-rich food. So as literature review covered more of the range of studies, I studied basically intensively in this based on the prevalence of anemia and sensory and nutritional properties, whereas the many literature reviews consist of development of products like lotus stem dips, snacks and savory like namkeen, save, and many other products. But they were lacking more of the nutritional status, the assessment of nutritional status, and the intervention approach with either it could be supplementation or it could be the product based. In the caps of the study, there is a need to develop iron-rich products and also the intervention education. The study helps in the formulation of health and nutrition intervention, help to reduce the prevalence of iron, and the lotus stem can be processed and marketed in various products for maximum utilization of its health benefits. As because micronutrient deficiency is kind of a hidden hunger, and it's important for the functions and growth and immune functions and reproduction. So the significance of the study includes, as adolescent girls, undernutrition still remains a major public health concern or public health problem, as is a regular loss of the girls face 12.5 to 15 mg iron per month in menstrual blood. Therefore, in girls following the growth spurt, the risk of iron deficiency continues to be a health concern throughout their entire reproductive age. So it's essential to provide the nutritional status plus to provide nutritional education and awareness. So the justification included the iron deficiency anemia as a major health public concern. Anemia is considered to be the most common nutritional deficiency. The food products are available in the market but lack nutritional quality. Therefore, in the present study, there's a need for society and industry to produce new food products which are beneficial for combating the deficiencies and improving the status and quality of life. Here are the references.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Devanshi, for your review. We come to the next participant, that is Anjali Hazari and Sheetal Deshmukh from LIT Nagpur. Okay, I think they are not aware. The next is the Shalini Chaudhary and Karna Singh.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I am Vaishnavi. Is it my?
Shalini Chaudhary.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. I am Shalini.
Okay.
Sir, I am sharing my screen.
Your poster number?
Pardon, sir?
Poster number TS06.
Yes, sir. Sir, please let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, yes. Now it is coming.
Okay. Good afternoon, one and all. I am Shalini from Sharda University, and the topic of e-poster is tackling hidden hunger and a call for a holistic approach.
Just quickly explain your objective and the findings.
Okay. The objective of my is to identify the common causes of hidden hunger and to explore various techniques helpful to overcome the problem of hidden hunger. Since the developing countries these days are moving from traditional diet to minimally processed foods, and that is these foods lack in essential nutrients which are required by our body. So we need to devise certain strategy to combat this problem of hidden hunger. So I have compiled these strategies. First is fortification. It is a process of intentionally increasing the micronutrient content of food products with the aim to improve its nutrient quality. For example, double fortified salt. We have so many fortified products in the market. So in this process, we actually add intentionally some nutrients in order to enrich that particular product. Next strategy is biofortification. It is a method of increasing the micronutrient content by breeding food crop through conventional transgenic method. The example of biofortified crops are vitamin A rich orange sweet potato, and it has been found that after the consumption of this sweet potato, there was increase in the serum vitamin A content. And the advantage of biofortification is that it basically targets the poor population and those living in the rural areas. Also, it is a cost effective method because we require to invest in the initial phase, and after that, once the crop is developed, it doesn't require any investment. So it is a cost effective method, and we can cover a large group of population at a same time. Next next strategy
concluded.
is
Conclusion.
okay. These are certain points which we should keep in mind while the application of these strategy. First is the while fortification, we need to identify a vehicle, and that vehicle should be commonly consumed by everyone, by the population. Like I gave the example of salt. And in case of fortification, the fortificant must be stable. It should be stable, and it has got good bioavailability. Then safest way to ensure nutrition for all, as it ensures adequate fusion of all the macronutrients, macro as well as micronutrients. Food-based strategies, increasing awareness about nutritious and safe consumption of food, food preservation, and development of kitchen gardens are some of the efficient ways by which we can promote dietary diversification. Next, biofortification is the cost-efficient method. Like I already told you that it is a cost-effective method, as it requires the initial investment. And investment at the initial.
Come to your conclusion. I have read it. Voice is also breaking.
And I would
You are not audible. Hello.
Am I audible, sir?
Your voice is breaking too much. Okay, I will take it as completed. Thank you for your work. Okay, next session. Next one is S. Singh and Chaudhary from Galgotia University. Dietary polyphenols as culinary medicine.
Good morning, sir. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Hello. Am I
Yes.
audible?
Yeah, audible, audible.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen.
Excuse me, Dr. Alok.
Yes.
How many participants are left? Can you just tell? Because I have to just an idea. How much more time is expected?
10 to 12 participants are left.
10 to 12 are left. Okay.
Maybe somebody was absent.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not able to share my screen. It is not supporting.
Okay, try to re-log in. By the time we will finish others. And next one is H. Vidhi, the Bhima Jayani, Satyanarayana Naik, Sneha Khardbanje, and Vijay Khardbanje from IIT Delhi. Anyone is there? Okay, next is Kajal Singh and Anuradha Singh from Galgotia University.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Who is presenting now?
Hello.
You're not audible.
Am I audible?
Your voice is very low.
Sir, am I audible?
Now audible. Okay. Who is there?
Kajal Singh here.
Okay, Kajal Singh. Okay, quickly start.
Sir, I am here with the e-poster presentation on topic preservatives and their
Kajal
alternatives.
Singh, make it bigger. It's not visible to us.
Now is it okay, ma'am?
Yes, it is okay.
So here I am with the presentation on preservatives and their alternatives. So preservatives, where we use them, these are the chemical compounds which we add in processed food products or cosmetic products, or to prevent them from bacteria, fungi, molds, etc. And they are of different types, like benzoate, nitrates, sulfides,
Participant, it's our request, please switch on the camera while presenting.
Sir, ma'am, it is not supporting right now, actually.
Okay, please go ahead then.
Parabens, one of them, preservatives nowadays we use in cosmetics most of, and food products also. Parabens chemicals are to prevent the same, like they prevent spoilage from bacteria and molds. How we can see if there is a paraben in any product or not? We can see like methyl paraben, ethyl paraben, propyl paraben, and butyl paraben. So if there is a paraben suffix, then we can say here I have added one picture of ingredients. Then we can see ethyl paraben. So if there is a mention that paraben is present, so we can conclude. And here is a picture of a tortilla. I hope it is visible. Propyl paraben.
What kind of food product these parabens are used?
Sir, propyl paraben here is in the tortilla.
Be cereal based oil or through juice, where they can be used.
Sir, they are used in the syrups and some beverages also, like in some drinks also it is used.
Okay, what is your
Food,
conclusion?
sir, actually pickles also here I have mentioned, vegetables also, and actually these parabens are harmful too. That's why we can also their adverse effects on our organs, like infertile, or they can cause cancer also. And conclusion is that basically we can alter the things, like if we are using paraben and we have the alternative of them, like here I have mentioned, like jojoba, vitamin A, and grapefruit seed extract, and many more, so that we can prevent the things also. And we can use the alternatives basically on the base on the behalf on the place of parabens.
Okay. We have read the conclusion. Okay, thank you for your presentation, Kajal.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, so much.
Okay, next presenter is Stuti Sharma, Soumya Chaturvedi, Tinkal Sachar.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm here. I'll just share my screen.
Okay.
Incoming call from Bajaj Finserv.
Can Kajal please exit?
Can you share, Kajal?
Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is loading. Switch on your camera also.
Sure, sir. Good afternoon to one and all present here. I'm here to present my poster on the topic Women at the Forefront of Food Security. Gender is clearly an issue in the agricultural sector of developing countries, and despite providing half of the agriculture workforce, women do not have a strong role, and a great majority of women worldwide do not often have a say in how resources are allocated. And this is what I've tried to put forward in the background of my literature review. These statistics are from a blog published by World Bank and a study conducted by World Bank in collaboration with the Food and Agricultural Organization, United Nations, which says that around 28 countries, only 28 countries are there where women have the same legal rights as men to own and access resources, land rights and resources. Only 5% of women farmers have access to agricultural extension resources. Only 15% have their share and have their employment services in extension services, agricultural extension services. Now, these statistics are definitely concerning, and they paint a very concerning picture. But at the same time, these factors that influence the inequality that exists that need to be taken into account. So first is gender roles and division of labor, where pro-male culture in South Asian countries is quite prevalent, and this is the reason why women have to take over reproductive as well as remunerative tasks, where reproductive tasks include taking care of children and the nutrition of the entire household. At the same time, remunerative tasks which involved agricultural production, post-harvest management, distribution and processing. Then comes a seat at the decision table. This involves the legislative measures as well as government schemes that are oftentimes formulated without keeping into account the representatives from all genders, especially women. So they oftentimes do not help or do not provide the necessary aid and are quite at times inefficient. Now, these three factors that I mentioned above are exacerbated when we take into account the external factors such as volatile international prices, government policies, climate change, etc. I've shared a graph which is a study conducted by the Food and Agricultural Organization and talks about how women are slightly more likely to be food insecure than men in every region in the world, irrespective of whether country is developing or underdeveloped, where we see Africa and Asia as underdeveloped and developing countries that have a slight more inequality as compared to the developing countries of North America and Europe. Now coming to the discussion, where I've tried to divide the factors into 4 different categories, and each of them have their own mandates, inequalities, and empowerment. The dimensions include their decision-making ability, financial self-sufficiency, freedom from violence, and unpaid labor. Then decision-making ability is basically the definition, that's the ideal definition, which talks about the ability of both men and women to make decisions about their own lives and influence those of their communities. And now with the inequality that exists is that when women are not allowed to make decisions and when they are not included in the decision-making table, this reflects in the entire food system and in basis of who is producing and who's providing and who's procuring and preparing foods, which and at the end of the day, who profits from the food systems, which oftentimes are men. The empowerment aspect of this includes improvement in the physical and mental health of individuals and families, which is oftentimes important and an important aspect when we talk about social conditioning. Then this would the empowerment aspect would also include increased economic productivity and innovation and creativity. Then comes the most important aspect, which is financial self-sufficiency. This is to undertake reforms to give women equal rights to economic resources, as well as access to ownership and control over land and other forms of property and financial services. Now, the inequality that exists is that there are persistent horizontal and vertical segregations on the basis of gender, where women tend to work in lower paid and lower prestige positions, and they kind of feed the cycle of lower bargaining power and lower remunerations. Now, when we empower women and they have more say over the distribution of family resources and their own income and assets, they become a better contributor to the economy and such, and then they become more integrated into the formal economy. Freedom from violence, again, is a social concept. When we talk about how if we eliminate the fear of violence against women and girls in public and private spheres, this would help with all sorts of gender equalities that exist, and most importantly, empower them in their economic power and decision-making authority. Lastly is unpaid labor, which talks about recognizing the value of unpaid care and domestic work through the provision of public services,
Okay,
infrastructure.
Tuti, just finish in 1 minute only.
Yeah, sure, sir. Infrastructure and social protection, and policies and promotion with shared responsibilities. Now, many women who've performed underpaid work remain outside the formal economy, which hinders their financial ability to gain financial self-sufficiency and impedes access to education, paid and unemployment, and food security. This is indirect effect. This has an indirect effect on food security and factors that affect it. Then, equalizing the status of unpaid labor will result in the gains in innovation and creativity, as mentioned above, which has an intersection with the decision-making ability. The well-being of individuals and households, individual and institutional acquisition of new knowledge and skills, and sustained economic activity.
Okay. Thank you, Tuti. We are running out of time now. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, next we will take our international speaker because they are also in time issue. P. Otrio, P. F. Chamero, and they can present from the University of Vigo. Paz Otrio. Yeah, your slides are visible.
Yes.
You can switch on the camera. Yeah, you are visible now.
Yes, I'm here now. This is Paz Otero from the University of Vigo. In this poster, I'm going to present the work called Phenolic Compounds, Fatty Acids, and Mineral Composition of Different Byproducts from Olea Europea, commonly known as olive. The main objective of this study was to evaluate 4 olive byproducts from a chemical and nutritional point of view. The products were the olive leaves, the olive cake, the olive water, and the olive fibers. These 2 last products obtained by the hydration process from the olive cake. Our last aim was to fortify several cosmetics and food products following a circular economy. So we performed for every product the analysis of the profile of phenolics by LCMS, the analysis of minerals by ECP, and the analysis of fatty acids by GCMS. From the 4 byproducts, the best results were for the olive fiber, in which we found the phenolics hydroxytyrosol and olesin in quantities up to 107 milligram per kilogram. Good proportions of polyunsaturated fatty acid and monounsaturated fatty acid were obtained in the fibers. And finally, relevant values of calcium, potassium, and magnesium were obtained in the olive cake and fibers, up to 4 grams per kilogram of calcium and potassium. The next step of this work is to fortify different products and cosmetics with the olive fiber. For example, snack bars, gels, meat, drinks. We are working close with some companies in Spain, and the idea is to release new products fortified with olive byproducts into the market. Thank you. This is everything from my side, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to show the results.
Thank you for your presentation. So next is Bandis Ifla Bang Odo from Ghana, Trauma and Specialist Hospital, Winneba.
Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, Pez. You can unshare your slide. Okay, Pradeshni, can you start? Invite. Pradeshni. Okay, Rohini Karna, Dinesh Shukshekar from CFT RMSU. Anyone is there? Then Dr. Sheetal Deshmukh and Vaishnavi Singh.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Sir, I am here. Just give me 2 minutes. I will share my screen.
Who is speaking?
Sir, I am Vaishnavi Wagh.
What
Dr.
is the number?
Sheetal Deshmukh presentation. Sir, TS07EP3.
Vaishnavi.
Yes, sir.
Let's loading. Switch on the camera also. So if it is a review work, you just present your findings only, what you understood. Otherwise, if research work is, then you can elaborate. This is the research work.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, audible.
Sir, I'm not able to just open my camera, sir. There is something problem. Can I continue, sir?
Yes, you can continue. Yes, Vaishnavi, you can continue.
Good afternoon, one on all present here. This is Vaishnavi Wagh from Lakshminarayan Institute of Technology, Nagpur, presenting poster on the topic of utilization of waste generation in coca industries and its best possible solutions under the guidance of Dr. Sheetal Deshmukh ma'am. So moving to the introduction of the product, the cocoa and chocolate industries have huge problems with the utilization of waste generated during the production process. The waste material generated during production include cocoa pod husk, pulp, and cocoa bean shell. Excuse me, sir, you have asked me that it is a review paper
Is it review or research?
or research. Sir, it is a review paper.
So just come to the findings. What you conclude by utilizing this bio waste?
Okay, sir. So this is based on the sustainability. Since every food industry's goal is to manage their waste generated during the industry. It is a kind of waste material generated during production include was coca pod husk, pulp, and coca bean shell. However, despite its favorable composition, coca shell often cannot be directly used in coca production, food production. because it may contain components that are harmful for human health. Coca
What is
shell can
high
carry
voltage?
mycotoxins.
A high voltage electrical discharge, how it is utilized here?
Yeah.
You discharge electric current through this waste material? Or
Yes, Vaishnavi, can you hear us?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you now. Ma'am, high voltage electrical discharge is a type of technology in which we can extract different types of components which are harmful, such as mycotoxins, heavy metals, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, and microorganisms, which are harmful for human health. And if we remove these compounds from our byproduct, then we can beneficially use it in the food production industries, because it contains high fiber and bioactive components which are helpful for our human health, and it can give us a good a good example of use in food industries. So high voltage electrical discharge is a new type of technology which I have learned from studying different types of researches. Here,
I
hello.
think how many techniques you
Hello.
have elaborated here, apart from high voltage
So this
electric
is the
discharge?
only one technique, high voltage electrical discharge, in which different types of techniques are available. High voltage discharge can also be done by three methods, that is corona discharge method, cold plasma discharge method, air discharge method, and electrical discharge method. So here we have used electrical discharge method. HVED is a type of technology which is mostly used for extraction of polyphenols, proteins, and pectin from waste material. But here on this poster, we are focusing mainly on the perspectives of the technology, which are other perspective, what we can
Okay,
get
okay,
from
okay. I think
it
we got it.
after polyphenols,
Okay, okay, we got it.
such
Yes,
as
point. You
yes,
can
sir.
leave it. I think.
So only 2 minutes I am concluding.
Okay, we understood. You have shown that technique. Okay,
Yes,
thank you for
sir.
your presentation.
I have shown in this poster
Hmm.
the whole technique.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
Vaishnavi, you can conclude if you want to say anything in conclusion.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the only advantage after extraction of this product is also it can also help as a sterilization technology. It inactivates the bacteria like salmonella and listeria, and it creates such a uniform decontamination with so that our fruit is not break down. Without breaking the surface of the fruit, it decontaminates the microorganisms inside it. So this is quite advantageous for it, and it can solve the problem of sustainability a more, and
Okay,
it can
okay. We
conclude
got it.
economic, social, and environmental sustainability. And so in this manner, coca industries can also manage their waste products and achieve their goal of sustainability.
Okay, okay. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
your
ma'am.
work.
This is the only conclusion.
Okay,
You.
next Priyadarshini is there. She can
Shall I
quickly.
answer it, ma'am?
Yes,
You
yes,
share
please
it, share it.
answer.
Priyadarshini quickly you
Okay.
can
Thank
present.
you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, AMIFOST 2022,
Okay, thank you.
for giving me the opportunity to
Okay, okay.
present my post.
The Pradarshini is here. Thank you so much, sir.
Quickly share because our time is already over.
Yes, sir, we are sharing.
I can share my screen.
Yes, please share.
Your number?
Is my
What's the
screen
number?
visible?
Visible. What's
Yes,
the number?
it's visible.
Mahua, the answer pressure, is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible. You have to make it large.
What is your poster number?
Poster number is TS04EP2.
So we said, sir, my due to network issue.
Is it fine now?
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm really sorry for the video that has been caused. Now, Mahua, the answer pressure, as everyone would be thinking, what does that mean? So, Mahua and answer pressure basically means Mahua, which is a very prominent and a very important tree in Indian history in the terms of Ayurveda, which has been used for medicinal, food, and water purpose in the ancient times, and also is now being used by the rising population. It is something that has a lot of value and benefits, but has been undiscovered by the population of our
Miss Priyadarshini, it's our request. We are running short of time, and so please tell us the major findings and please conclude your poster. We don't.
So basically, what I intend to present in this poster is that Mahua has lots of benefits, and we are supposed to get this benefit out in the world to everybody. The most easiest form to get this thing out in the market to people is by introducing it in the form of food products. Now, there are certain ways in which Mahua has already been there in the form of food products, like it is there in the form of jam and oil. I intend to present it in a form that is very much easily available to the normal people, that is in the form of flakes and honey, which can be taken in and has a very high benefit in terms of neuromuscular development and immune development. As we have seen that COVID-19 crisis has led to increase in the immune demand, immunity boosting in everybody, and it is a very good alternative that can be provided and must be unveiled to the world so that they can all use it. That is it, ma'am.
Okay, Priyadarshini.
Yes, sir.
So we will move to the next one. As Mission,
Sorry, sir, sir, I cannot hear you. Could Sanjana please repeat the question for me?
Sir, are you asking any question?
No question. This is review work.
Thank you so much.
And who is available here?
Yes, please raise your hand. Who is available?
Sanskriti.
Me.
You can
Okay,
share.
fine.
So, Shikhar Sharma.
Tell your poster number.
Yes, we will give opportunity to everyone. First, Sanskriti, you can present now.
Yes, ma'am.
The key is 03EP5.
Ma'am,
EP5.
I'm presenting.
Yes, please
Hello?
present. Yes.
Good afternoon, ma'am. This is Sanskriti Singh, and I am from Galgotia University. Currently, I am pursuing MSc in biochemistry. So my topic is dietary polyphenol as culinary medicine against Alzheimer's disease. So first of all, I would like to explain what is Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is a progressive disease that destroys memory and other important mental function. Brain cell connection and the cells themselves degenerate and die, eventually destroying memory and other important mental function. The symptoms may include mental decline, difficulty in thinking, understanding, confusion in the evening hours, delusion, disorientation, forgetfulness. So these are the symptoms. Now, I want to explain how polyphenols inhibit Alzheimer's disease. First of all, polyphenols are the large family of naturally occurring organic compounds characterized by multiple phenolic units. They are abundant in plants and structurally diverse. Polyphenols can be found in variety of foodstuff and beverages like red wine, grapes, herbs, etc. Polyphenols usually inhibit Alzheimer's disease. Polyphenols have antioxidant properties, and several animal studies have been conducted to assess the association between food rich in polyphenol and amyloid accumulation and reduction of oxidative stress in patients with Alzheimer's disease.
The beneficial effect of polyphenols on the development of Alzheimer's disease are the focus of this study. Hello, ma'am.
Yes, continue. You are audible.
Please continue. Yes, you are audible. Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are very much audible. Please continue.
Okay, ma'am. So polyphenol usually inhibit Alzheimer's disease. Polyphenols are able to react with free radicals, blocking their activity, modulate the expression of genes involved in metabolism, and act as signaling molecules. And it also protect and repair DNA damage. Polyphenols interact with peptides and protein and thereby inhibit Alzheimer's disease. So this was all about my poster. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Sanskriti Singh. We can move to the next participant.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Please, whoever is available, raise your hand. Or you can share your poster.
Dr. Jyoti, this side. Can I share my poster?
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Jyoti, ma'am. Yes, please.
I hope my poster is visible to all.
Yes, it is. Yes, it has downloaded. Yes.
Thank you. So my topic for today's e-poster, something went wrong. I think somebody has other.
Please allow Dr. Jyoti to present.
Okay. So my topic for e-poster is nutrition and therapeutic perspectives of chia seeds. Since it's in a review, so I won't take much time. So chia seeds, as we all know, that they belong to Lamiaceae family. It is an annual herb and native to Mexico. All seeds, basically, they are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, and it is the only source, we can say the vegetarian source, which is rich in omega-3 fatty acids. So I have studied many research and review papers, almost around 53 research and review papers I have studied. And the main objective to gather published data regarding the nutritional composition and therapeutic effects associated with the use of chia seeds for human health. So what I concluded is that chia seeds are not new to mankind, and they have been used even in the, just a minute. So they have been used even in the pre-Columbian time by Aztecs also. So it is an excellent source of dietary fiber, both insoluble and soluble, omega-3 fatty acids, protein, and other bioactive compounds, or we can say the phytochemicals. So chia possess many important physiochemical and functional properties, which makes it more suitable in the food industry. So since like in memorable times, so this seed is being used by the people, and now there are like many studies have done on the in vivo and in vitro on this seed basically, but there are not much studies that can support this the findings that it is it has some functional properties, because there are many indicated theories basically. Some studies says that it may prevent cardiovascular diseases. Some says, okay, fine, it will increase the plasma alpha-linolenic acid, but it is not, exhibiting any positive effect on the hyperglycemia and all these things. So we need more studies for research on chia seeds with respect to the food industry and nutraceuticals. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jyoti. We can move to the next poster.
Ma'am, can I present? My name is Soumya Kaushik.
Can I share?
Yes, Soumya Kaushik, please present your poster. Soumya Kaushik.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm unable to share my screen.
Ma'am,
Yes,
this side, Vandita, can I share?
Ma'am, is my poster visible?
Who is sharing now? Soumya Kaushik. Yes, your poster is visible. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Soumya Kaushik, and I'm a master's student in food technology from Guru Nanak Dev University, Amritsar,
Please
and have
make it
conducted this
larger if
review
it is
under my
possible.
bachelor's professor, Dr. Jyoti Nishad. So our review basically concerns about the packaging industry and the advancement done in that industry. Food packaging has gone through a lot of advancement in recent years, and in food industry, basically the active packaging and intelligent packaging has gone through a lot of advantages. Active packaging basically deals with the use of scavengers, gas emitters, in order to increase the shelf life of the food product, whereas intelligent packaging works a step ahead by helping us to detect the quality as well as help us to increase the shelf life of the food product. And in intelligent packaging, the most exploited compound is anthocyanin, which is a flavonoid, which is a plant-based pigment, and scientists exploit this pigment basically because of its high antioxidant property, high antimicrobial property, and because of its ability to change its color at different pH. Basically, anthocyanin has 4 different forms, and these 4 different forms are interchangeable. And this interchanging ability of anthocyanin form, ma'am, is my screen has stopped?
Yes.
Ma'am, just a second. Ma'am, is it visible now?
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, ma'am. So basically, interchangeability of these 4 forms is responsible for the color change. It can be derived from many sources. Anthocyanin, it can be derived from onion peel, or rice, or orange peel. Basically, anthocyanin is extracted by different methods. Chemically, it can be extracted by solvent-based method, and mechanically, it can be extracted by stock slit extraction as well as by supercritical fluid extraction. But I have extracted it at a small. Wait a second. I have extracted anthocyanin at a small scale in my laboratory in my bachelor's for one of my research project in which I had developed an smart packaging material using onion peel and orange peel. So I extracted the anthocyanin present in the onion peel by just boiling it in the water, and I was successful to make an anthocyanin extract, which I incorporated in my biofilm, and the biofilm had successfully shown the change in pH the change that my film showed was that in acidic condition it turned pink, whereas in the basic condition it was a little brownish as compared to the original color, which was orange. So it was well established by my research that anthocyanin shows shows color variability depending upon the pH. Further, there are many researches that are being conducted over this topic. A lot of scientists have worked on it, but still this field and this concept needs much more advancement. But even though now many researches are being conducted, which I have tabulated in this table. So I hope that I'm able to justify my point. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Soumya. So we can move to the next participant, Mahala. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Mahala,
Yes.
please share your poster.
Is it visible?
It's loading. It's loading. Make it large.
Is it research work or review work?
Research paper, sir.
Review paper.
No, research paper it is.
Research paper. So literary bar, I think you have prepared.
Yeah. Okay. My name is Maha Mame from Shala University, and I'm doing my master's degree in nutrition and dietetics. My topic for this research is development of indigenous NutriBar for children. Introduction is NutriBar is a nutrition.
Mahala, please stick
Yeah.
to your findings.
Okay, just go start with objectives. My first objective is to formulate the nutri-mix incorporation selected ingredients to develop ready-to-eat Nutribar for children and to
Aris, please
estimate
mute
the
your mic. Yes, yes, Mahala. Yes, yes. Please continue.
and my last objective is to estimate the nutritional quality and evaluate shelf life of the Nutribar. And these are the ingredients that I used. I used the sorghum flour, maize flour, pumpkin seeds, groundnuts, sesame seeds, man seeds, butter, and dates. And that's when the ingredients that I used. And my results were nutrient content of the Nutribar revealed that it contained good amount of energy, which was 406 kilocalories, and had protein, which was 13.2 grams. Calcium was 93.7 milligrams, and iron was 2.7 milligrams. Nutribar was found to be safe for consumption for 14 days, both at room and refrigeration temperature. A conclusion, the formulation of this product will help the school-going children to meet increasing nutrition requirements. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, have you done any analysis?
No, ma'am, haven't yet.
So,
It's an ongoing research, ma'am. For now, it's an ongoing research. For now, I've just made the Nutribar, so it's yet to go to for testing and the like. But I've already done the shelf life, so it will last for 14 days on room temperature and
from where you have written these values, nutritive value of Nutribar?
Yep, here, ma'am.
You have written this from which book? Any paper you had referred?
Yes, I referred to a paper. Wait, didn't put it.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mahala.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, this is Rohini. Can I present, ma'am, my e-poster?
Rohini, you can present. Rohini.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you. One second, ma'am.
Yes, Rohini. Are you facing any problem, Rohini?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Can I present, ma'am? I'm Shikha Sharma.
Just wait a minute. Rohini, Rohini, are you there? Okay, Sikha, you can present.
Ma'am, after that, can I present, Vandita?
Yes, Vandita, you can present. Sikha, yes, Sikha, please present your slide poster.
It is visible, ma'am?
No.
Then?
It's not visible.
No. See, screen. I'm using.
Ma'am, I think some issues.
Rohini, are you presenting? Are you there? Can you hear me, Rohini? Sikha Sharma, please present your poster. Sikha Sharma.
Ma'am, wait for 1 minute. Ma'am, I think.
Ma'am, can I share, ma'am?
Ma'am, can I do them?
Please, one by one, you present your poster. I will give chance to everyone. I think Rohini is trying to present. Rohini, can you hear me? Okay, Sikha Sharma. Sikha Sharma, please present.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sikha Sharma, yes.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, if I share my poster, I'm getting unmute in the screen. I'm not able to speak.
So, who is this? Rohini.
Rohini, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Rohini, you
visible?
can share the poster with us.
Landscape. Is it from mobile?
Ma'am, it is visible?
Yes, it's
Visible but
visible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay, now.
Good afternoon to all. I'm going to present my e-poster, development of immunity boosting organic jaggery using ginger and carrot. So ginger is a traditional natural sweetener made by the concentration of sugarcane juice, and it is considered to be the best among all the sugarcane products, which is enriched with the mineral and phytochemicals. Jaggery production is a major traditional enterprise in the sugarcane producing areas. It offers employment opportunity to millions of people. It is available in the solid, liquid, powder. Solid form is very popular in the market. Liquid and powder also available in the market. It is one of the most wholesome and healthy sugar in the world. It is a major good producing country in the world, more than 60%. But most of the jaggery business suffer from losses. India, major sugar producing areas, UP, Gujarat, Haryana, and many other parts of the India, where there is many other usually jaggery. Used to improve the digestion, preventing lung infections, blood purification, regulation, functioning of the liver and kidney. The most of jaggery available in market are not safe.
Sikha, are you there?
No, it is not reversible. I don't know. It is always like this.
So many of time we have visited the jaggery production failure in local producer, and we have saying that are using the harmful chemicals which are not good for the health, and they're using that the chemicals only for the clarifying the juice as well as giving the food bright color of the jaggery. So there is a huge demand for value-added organic jaggery, but it is not available in the market. So carrot is rich in the beta carotene and rich in the vitamin A, and which help keep your eyes healthy. And ginger contain vitamin C and magnesium and potassium, and also provide the multiple health benefits. So we have the trying into many of vegetable and species like carrot, beetroot, cinnamon, gingers. So here we are present only the carrot and ginger jaggery. The objective The main objective in our study is to identify the sugarcane sugarcane suitable for the value-added products from the organic sugarcane, and second is the selection and optimization of the species and vegetable for the new product development, and third is the standardize the process protocol for the immune boosting Zagari. And materials and methods. Now this is the ginger powder. This is the ginger powder and the carrot powder. We have purchased the ginger and carrot in the market, and after wash, make the slices, and then the slices put in the air tray dryer at the 50 to 60 degrees Celsius till dry. And then the after drying, we have make it the powder form. Then this is the flow chart, process flow chart. Firstly, freshly harvested sugar cane, and then the juice extraction, then the filtering with the muslin cloth at least 2 times, then boiling till the reach 50 to 60% TSS, and addition of the supply. 1% supply is the clearing agent of the sugarcane juice, and continue boiling till the 75 to 80% TSS, and addition of the spices and herbs. That means addition of the carrot powder and ginger powder.
Please, 1 second, please come to your result.
Okay, ma'am. Results out of all the sugar canes varieties we have found. The highest percentage of juice and TSS and pH. This is variety of CO0232. And this is the 8 combination. This is the 8 treatment. This is the 8 treatment we have used, and the best treatment is the T7. And in the sensory qualities, and these are the steps involved for the development of the immune boosting organic Zagari from the organic sugarcane. And concluding among the different treatment, the maximum overall acceptability score 7.8 was recorded for the treatment T7. That means ginger is 0.2% and the carrot is 4%. And the farmers could be able to sell their products 80 to 100, depends on the packaging. A huge demand of the immune boosting Zagari was reported by the farmer through they are the facing problem packaging materials and suitable dyes. That's it, ma'am. And this is our organic Zagari.
Okay, fine. So have you checked the shelf life?
Sorry, ma'am.
Have you checked the shelf life of Jaggery?
No, ma'am. ये अभी नहीं किया मैम, चल रहा है.
चल रहा है. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. Thank you, Sikha. So we can move to the next presentation.
Ma'am, can I present?
Ma'am, can I present, Vandita?
I am sharing Miss Rohini's presentation.
Yeah.
Miss Rohini.
Yeah, ma'am.
Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Can I present, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah. Good afternoon, ma'am. So I'm presenting my e-poster on the topic bioactive components and antioxidant levels in the idli batter as a function of a storage conditions, where bioactive compounds may be described as it is a food derived components that have a significant nutritional benefits. During the extraction and processing and the storage conditions, it causes bioactive compounds to degrade our oxidants to lose their effectiveness. Where in the fermentation, which improves the antioxidant activity by increasing the release of the phenolic compounds, where one of the fermented food is idli, which is prepared with the black gram and the rice, wherein during the fermentation process, the majority of the lactic acid bacteria are found, and which produces organic acid like such as lactate, acetate, butyrate, and the propionate. Where my objective is to study the bioactive components in the fermented idli batter for 30 days under the different storage condition, like room temperature for 30 degrees Celsius, and one more condition is 5 degrees Celsius for 30 days. We prepared the idli by 3 parts of rice and 1 part of black gram and fermented for 12 hours at 30 degrees Celsius. After fermentation, one set of the batches we stored at 30 degrees Celsius for 30 days. One set of batches we stored at 5 degrees Celsius for 30 days. And during the analysis parameters, for every 2 days, we have analysis that TPC and TFC and antioxidant content. Whereby during the storage condition, if we see the total phenolic content, after fermentation, the phenolic content will be increased after fermentation, and at the 30 degrees Celsius, where it will be increases at 30 degrees Celsius under room temperature, the phenolic content will be increases. At 5 degrees Celsius during the storage time also, the phenolic content will be slightly increases. Whereas the total flavonoid content also increase after fermentation, where at 30 degrees Celsius, the flavonoid content also increases. And wherein at 5 degrees wherein we have checked the antioxidant condition for both the conditions for 30 degrees Celsius and 5 degrees Celsius for every 2 days. Whereas at 5 degrees Celsius, after fermentation, it increases. After 8th day, it was increasing. After 8th day, it was decreased. The antioxidant level was increased. At 30 degrees Celsius, the antioxidant level is increased till 30th day. So I'll conclude my topic by so the mechanism of the fermentation is increase the amount of phenolic and flavonoid condition during the process. And the major step is the microorganism growth is a primary component to hydrolyze the reaction in the fermentation to increase the amount of phenolic and the flavonoid content. Where the higher TPPH indicates that it may be associated to higher bioactive components with the interaction with amino acid residue and oxidized phenolic content. Oh, thank you, ma'am, and thank you, Amity University, for providing me to present my e-poster. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Rohini.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Ma'am, may I present Vanita?
Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am, I'll just share.
Vanita.
Is it visible, ma'am?
It's loading.
Okay. Good afternoon, respected Founder President Dr. Ashok Chauhan, sir, Honorable Chairperson Dr. Amita Chauhan, ma'am, and all the worthy and eminent judges.
Hi, Vanita Sharma.
I, Arnav Hussain.
Students of AMIFOST International School, Saket, are here to present our e-poster on immunomodulated functional foods fortified with bioactive phytochemicals. Did you know about 3/4 of the world's population relies on traditional remedies for healthcare? There are a huge number of plants with potential immunomodulatory activity that can justify and explain their use and in traditional medicines in the past and can be the basis for further research in the future as well.
Vandita, please focus on the major findings.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, we don't have time for introduction part. Okay.
Okay.
Ayurvedic system of medicine is one of the oldest systems of medicine, and plants are the oldest friends of mankind. Texts of traditional Indian literature consist of a number of plants reputed to promote physical and mental health, improve defense mechanism of the body, and enhance one's lifespan.
Immunity is the body's ability to identify and resist large number of infections, enabling the body to resist diseases and inhibit organ and tissue damage. Our immunity boosting product, which was conceptualized and prepared by my great grandmother, late Mrs. Kaushalya Reddy, was used by her to treat colic and boost immunity in her children, grandchildren, and great grandchildren as well.
Now let's talk about the ingredients used in the immunomodulator and their benefits. Firstly, white rock candy. White rock candy or mystery is a brain tonic. It helps in the prevention of cold, cough, and sore throat. It's great for your eyes. It also helps in digestion.
Sherbolic myrobalan has immunity boosting vitamins like vitamin C, helps in relief of constipation, prevents cold and cough, and also helps in digestion.
Jaggery or gur purifies blood, helps in detoxifying the liver, treating flu, and relieving constipation.
Green cardamom, also known as lychee in Hindi, has antioxidants, cancer-fighting compounds, antibacterial effects, and also treats bad breath.
Benefits and facts. The immunomodulator is a great defense as it supports body's natural ability to defend against pathogens, worms, and resists infections. It also aids in colic relief. It has no harmful side effects, It boosts your immunity and tastes great.
Fact: the immunomodulator bottle has a child lock to secure that a child does not take more than the required quantity. It is made up of shatterproof glass to protect the environment, and if you drop it, you won't break it. The price of the immunomodulator is ₹100 per 100 grams. We also have a different version for adults, which uses jaggery instead of white rock candy if an adult does not want so much sugar intake in their daily life.
Traditional medicine all over the world is currently being revalued through extensive research on various plant species that have therapeutic properties.
Thank you. We hope you like our presentation. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Vandita and Anna. So we can move to the next participant.
Can I present?
Anila.
Can I present?
Okay,
Hello.
Tanya Nagpal. Yes, Tanya Nagpal, you can present. Tanya Nagpal.
Okay.
Yes.
Is my screen shared, ma'am?
Yes, it's shared.
A very good afternoon, everyone. Today, I am here to present a part of my research work entitled Rapid Determination of Peroxide Value of Oil based on core shell nanoparticles as substrate for SIRS and rapid chemometric method. And starting with a brief introduction, deep frying of food is a common practice that leads to the formation of lipid oxidation products. And currently, titration is a widely used technique for determining the peroxide value. However, this method uses a lot of reagents, many of which are poisonous, smelly, and pollute the environment. So the oil quality control requires the development of novel and rapid, accurate technique that can detect peroxide value easily. And with the recent advancement in spectroscopy, Raman spectroscopy is generating considerable interest among the scientists because of its ability to determine the trace amount of the molecule. And because the Raman spectroscopy is based on the scattering phenomena, hence the Raman signals are weak, and that can be amplified by surface enhanced Raman spectroscopy, which is based on the surface plasmon resonance phenomena. Laser excitation of the metal nanosphere resonantly derives the surface charge, creating a highly localized plasmonic field, and when a molecule is in close vicinity of the field, the large enhancement in the Raman signal is observed. So in this study, our objective was to prepare and characterize a AU@AG core shell nanoparticle and to study the potential of algorithm-assisted search in determining the peroxide value of the oil. So the methodology followed was: first, the silver nanoparticles were prepared using Lee-Messel method, and then using silver nanoparticles as seed, core shell nanoparticles were developed and characterized by SEM, TEM, and UV spectra. Oil was fried repeatedly till 5 Frank cycles, and the 65 spectra for the oil sample was obtained and was analyzed by principal component analysis, and the regression analysis was done by ANN method. So these are the results. Figure 1 shows the UV spectra of the silver and core shell nanoparticles. For the silver nanoparticles, the surface plasmon resonance peak was observed at 400, and for the core shell nanoparticles, the surface plasmon peak was observed around 500, which is desirable as the laser we used were of 532 nanometer inverse. And figure 2A and B shows the TEM images of the silver and core shell nanoparticles, and the table shows the elemental analysis. And in the elemental analysis, we have observed the presence of gold and silver, thereby indicating that the core shells are formed. So figure 3 is a Raman spectra and source spectra of the oil. And as can be seen in the figure, that a no peak was observed in the Raman spectra at 200 centimeter inverse. And we hypothesize that this peak, and based on the literature review, that this peak belongs to the interaction of the peroxides formed and the silver nanoparticles. And these are some of the bands which are assigned based on the literature review. And the band for our importance is that band at 1265, which corresponds to the deformation of cis fatty acids. So in the figure 4, that is a PCA scatter plot of the oil with different Frank cycles, we can see that different clusters are formed belonging to the oil of different Frank cycles, thereby indicating that the Raman spectroscopy in conjugation with the chemometric has the ability to determine the quality of oil. And for the qualitative analysis, the regression model was applied and a good correlation was found in the regression model. And for the training set, R square achieved was 0.92. For the validation set, a 0.90
was achieved, and for the test set, 0.91 coefficient of correlation was achieved. So based on this study, our conclusion is that the constant nanoparticles enhance the Raman spectra of the oil, and the PCA scatter plot has the ability to indicate the deteriorating changes taking place in the oil, and the root mean square and coefficient of correlation for the training as test sample for oil was 0.91 and 92 and 3.46 and 3.80 respectively. From all this, we can say that the developed algorithm-assisted search system enables the sleek and rapid analysis of the peroxide value in oil oxidation that can be useful for the oil industry. So, and at last, I would like to acknowledge the Center for Rural Development and Technology, Department of Chemistry, IIT Delhi, for the support, and the AMIFOST for providing me the opportunity to present my work.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you, ma'am.
We can move to the next participant, Sakshi Misra.
Ma'am, I have shared my poster on the mail. Can you please share it on the screen? I'm unable to share.
Let me check 1 second.
Hello.
Yes, I'm checking out 1 second.
Yeah, it was with me. I think it is visible.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon to all the faculty members and my fellow mates. My name is Sakshi Mishra, and I'm pursuing my master's in nutrition and dietetics from Mahavarachana University. My topic for poster presentation is impact of cooking techniques and storage conditions on the resistant starch content of rice and its effect on the blood glucose levels. We all know that the metabolic disorders are on a rise. When we talk of diabetes, it is one of the silent killers, as it says, undiagnosed in half of the population. Asian countries like China and India have the largest diabetic population in the world. Out of the many modifiable and non-modifiable factors, dietary factor plays a crucial role in the management of diabetes. The diabetic population is advised to restrict high glycemic foods, leaving limited options for them to consume. Thus, certain researches suggest that white rice, which is a staple food in the Asian population, can be consumed after slight modifications in the cooking and storage techniques. Resistant starch is basically the sum of starch and products of starch degradation that is not digested and absorbed in the small intestine of healthy individuals, but later are fermented by natural microflora of the colon.
Sakshi, 1 second. Miss Sakshi, please focus on the major findings. Okay.
Oh, yes, ma'am. So, various techniques have been used. Firstly, the boiling, steaming, and refrigeration. Studies suggest that they are known to affect the resistant starch content in white rice. The resistant starch has various physiological effects in the body, including prebiotic, improved bowel health, improved satiety, etc. That is beneficial to the diabetic population. Basically, it has a controlled and insulinemic response. It works by attenuating hyperglycemic, hyperinsulinemic, and hyperlipidemic response. Thus, this research study will help in making better alternatives for diabetic and obese people to consume rice. Additionally, it is predicted that the resistant starch market will grow at a CAGR of 6.4% by 2026 due to the growing popularity of dietary fibers and increased demand for convenience foods. Thus, due to the increased market demand, this research study will be fruitful for the researchers focusing on the physiological benefits of RS. Also, at the industrial level, it acts as a functional ingredient as prebiotics, lowering the calorific value of foods and use in celiac as bulk laxatives, etc. Some other functional properties like crispy texture, prebiotic properties, increased viscosity will also help in the production of improved varied food products like improved rice flakes, puffed rice, etc., opening new alternatives for the diabetic and obese people. Thank you.
Thank you, Sakshi. So we can move to the next participant, Anila Jahid. Anila Jahid or Pushpat Singh, any one of you, if you are present, please share your slide.
Ma'am, I can share my slide, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Pushpat.
Yes, Pushpat, please.
make it larger.
Okay, sir.
Not, okay, I think you can just explain.
Now it is visible now, sir?
Not
Yes,
visible.
it's visible. Not handy. It's not visible. Yes.
Not visible.
You have to make it more bigger.
While making poster, keep everything in bullet point and the bold, then only a big font.
Yes. Are you sharing from mobile?
No, ma'am.
Why it is coming?
Okay,
up?
just you summarize whatever is your findings.
sir.
I think it is a review work only, na?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yes, my review topic is on chocolate, a functional food. There are perception about chocolate that it is so bad for health, but by this review we can say that if chocolate is taken in a moderate amount, it can improve the health of an individual. It improves the digestion. It improves heart health. It has anti-cancer properties. It also help in Alzheimer disease. It also has anti-diabetic properties, and it also improve the blood pressure of individuals. And one thing that high temperature processing is not good for chocolate, as it degrade the bioactive compound of the chocolates. A simple bar of chocolate, if an individual eat daily, then it will have more health benefit than if it take more amount of chocolate. Ma'am?
Yes, yes, Pushpak. Oh. Yeah.
Ma'am, these are only findings.
Findings of your studies. Okay, fine. Okay. Okay, sir. So we can wind up now.
Ma'am, I am here. This is Anila Zahid.
Anila Zahid, please share your poster. Anila?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Pushpak. You can unshare.
Ma'am, I'm unable to share. Pushpak, please unshare your screen.
Ma'am,
Hello.
Yes, Anila.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Anila Zahid, and I am pursuing my PhD from Amity Institute of Food Technology itself, under the guidance of Dr. Renu Khetkar ma'am. And my topic of poster presentation is proximate analysis and phytochemical screening of onion waste, that is Allium Supa. So basically, it's an India's second largest crop, according to Ministry of Agriculture. About 30% waste, 30% crop of onion has been wasted in the post.
Okay, come to your objectives. Whatever objectives you set.
Its main objective is to determine the proximate content, that is carbohydrate, fat, fiber, dietary fiber, insoluble fiber, energy, protein, etc., and the qualitative phytochemical screening. So my results concludes that the onion peels contain 3.67% moisture, 8.56% protein, 70% carbohydrate, 0.64% fat, and 4.45 crude fiber. This was the first objective, and the second was the phytochemical analysis, for which I have prepared some solvents in the polar as well as non-polar extract. So these are some of the pictures which I have included in, and the results concludes that the onion peel extracts contain anthraquinones, anthocyanins, flavonoids, glycosides, tannins, terpenoids, etc. So I'm concluding my part that onion peel is rich sources are the rich sources of carbohydrates, proteins, minerals, vitamins, energy, etc. Apart from the basic nutritional characteristics, it also contains phytochemicals which can be used in food industries. Many food industries, for example, it can be used in packaging or pigment extraction. And the compounds which are present in it are anthocyanins, terpenoids, glycosides, tannins, etc. And these are the differences. Thank you so much for listening.
Which solvent you use for extraction of these terpenoids?
Sir, ethanol, methanol, and hexane.
Which one give best yield, highest yield?
Ethanol one, sir.
Okay.
So you had not quantified the values, right?
No, ma'am. Quantification is still ongoing. So just it's an qualitative analysis. It's an ongoing step actually.
Okay. Have you not found anything in the literature regarding this work? Because, what is the innovation you found? For
Yes,
using this
sir.
work?
Yeah, I have found these things in the literature also.
So what is the innovative work you are doing? Because this is, I think, doctoral work.
Yeah, it's the new in it, like the variation in the content, like it, if you can see that the protein content is 8.56, which differ on the basis of its variety.
So you are taking this with Delhi NCR variety or any other?
No, sir, it's in Lucknow,
Lucknow.
UP.
Okay, Dr. Meena.
Okay, so we can wind it up. Yes, Anila, thank you.
Ma'am, I have a confusion. Actually, I'm not aware of my poster number.
Yes, you have, your number is not here. I was about to ask that from you.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, there was something misconception. My name was fallen into offline mode actually. So I also don't know. Then I have conveyed to the organizing committee.
Okay, I will discuss about the same thing from
Yeah, sure.
organizing.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Neela. So anyone is there who want to present? Okay, so I think everyone have presented, so we can end the session. Thank you very much, Chairperson, Dr. Soumya and Dr. Naveen, to spend your precious time here. And thank you, Dr. Alok, sir. And thank you all the participants. So thank you, everyone.